next generation of Detroit sports media is here. Crunch Time is back on Woodward Sports. Join Jeff Iafrate and Booner Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Taking Detroit sports coverage to the next level with massive interviews, viral moments, and the best live reactions. Get ready, Detroit. The young guns are taking over. Crunch Time on Woodward Sports.
We're back. It's Crunch Time here on Woodward Sports. It's Wednesday, day of the doc. I'm your host, Jeff Iafrate. That's my guy over there, Booner. We got KG. We got Riley in the back as well, Caleb Zarnick, the one, the only. We got a lot to talk about today. Detroit Lions training camp, the scrimmage that occurred. We have standouts, guys that have been making plays. We'll talk about that. John Macroom, like I said, the doc joins us today. He'll give us the injury updates, what's been going on at training camp, all the things in the Lions world, the TA stuff. Yes, the Tigers lost. Yes,
Sick,
we're trying to have fun. All of those things are true. We'll also talk some Michigan football at the end of the show.
Yes.
We're kind of sneaking in some college football here as we're getting closer. So, packed show today on a Wednesday.
Should be fun. I'm excited. I want to speak with the doc. I feel like I haven't talked to him in like a month. So I'm excited to talk to the doc. The TA stuff, I don't know if you guys all got to see it. I didn't get to watch the full Hard Knocks last night.
Yeah.
There was a lot of videos that came out about the TA situation, which is like, I think it's a little mind-blowing a little bit. How it's getting handled, what's going on. He got put on the commissioner's exemption list yesterday.
The exempt list.
So we're going to talk about that a little bit. Should be a fun show, guys. Michigan college football. Right. There was people in the chat yesterday who were like, boys, when are you guys talking college football? Today, we were supposed to do it yesterday, got a little sidetracked. Today, we talked some college ball, man.
Sidetracked.
We also have an injury update,
Tigers.
a big one, actually. Jimmy Rolder, who was hurt this offseason, which led them to sign basically Devin White. Jimmy Rolder said he'll be back in a few weeks. He said it himself.
Shout out to, he said it on the X's and O's show, just to credit them, Matt Shepard. He said it on his show. He had him on, talked about it there.
And that was an injury I think many people feared was going to be probably a long-term injury, trying to avoid IR. So Jimmy Rolder, the quicker he can come back, not that this changes anything. Obviously, Devin White's a guy they love. So, I don't think it doesn't change anything in terms of that. It's nice to have Jimmy back at some point. Again, what does that mean for the linebacker room? We talked about who stays, who goes yesterday, the 53-man roster. This probably puts a little bit of a wrinkle in who will be cut. And Caleb's putting
Damone
on
Clark.
Very
It really
easy.
puts Damone Clark on the hot seat a little bit, right?
Bro.
Yeah, it's
Have
probably,
your bag ready.
It's probably Damone Clark. Caleb, what do you got over there?
What is this?
Shout out Gold Crown. Cool little hat they gave me.
Hey, shout out.
I mean, you're looking good in the hat.
Thank you.
Wow.
I appreciate it.
You
Gold
do look
Crown
good,
hat.
Caleb.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Booner.
So I just want to say before we, Caleb, are you having fun? I'll just say we don't have to get into you just answer. Are you having fun right now?
Just short and sweet. No, I didn't have fun yesterday.
Okay. All right. We also have videos. Brad Galley, he spoke to Dan Campbell. It's like a 15, 16-minute interview. Great interview. Dan Campbell always has great interviews with Brad Galley. Seems like he's super comfortable there. They talked about a bunch of things. He also spoke about Jared Goff, which you have the video?
Yep.
Let's play that. We'll hear what Dan Campbell had to say about his quarterback, Jared Goff.
6 years now with Jared Goff, Dan.
Yeah.
You guys are tied together, and quarterbacks and head coach have that bond, and it seems like what you have is pretty special. Why are you so proud of what you two have and being tied to that man especially?
Well, man, we could sit here and talk for days about that one. Everybody knows and sees from afar what Goff is capable of doing and his talent and his accuracy, the big arm, all these. But it's the behind the scenes stuff, man. It's the grind that he puts in to prepare for a game on any given week. It's his leadership. It's his his drive of perfection and wanting the offense to be perfect. He holds himself to high standards. He sits in the pocket, does not get frazzled. He'll take it on the chin, and he's done it repeatedly, knowing it's coming right in his face, and he's got to stand in there and make an accurate throw, and he does that. And so these guys, he's tough, man. He's got a resiliency about him. And that's always going to speak to my heart, man, and my soul. And the guy does it all. He's one of the special ones. I was fortunate to be around Breeze, who's a special one. This guy's a special one. And I'm fortunate to be able to say that he's my quarterback. So, and that's not even the half of it, Brad. We don't have time to talk all day what I think about Jared Goff. He's unbelievable. And he's a great teammate. He's just a freaking stud, man. I love the guy.
I just appreciate the love that Dan has for Jared Goff. I think everyone just needs a partner like that. Guys, we could stay here and talk about Jared Goff all day. And that's why I've always, even though we've had we have the Luke Altmaier discussion, some people take it way too far, or we have the Hendon Hooker discussion, which this guy took it way too far. At the end of the day, Dan Campbell, I think through everything, has always been pro Jared Goff. Not that Brad Holmes hasn't been. He's also pro Jared Goff. Yep. But I think no matter what, I think Dan looks at this thing as we're going to have Jared until he can't play ball anymore. That's what I think. Okay, here we go with this. WSN Office Hoops Commissioner.
Office Hoops Commissioner.
Oh, that is just diabolical.
I mean, man.
Okay, for those who don't understand what this means, this is a whole other thing. Okay, so we have a mini hoop in the back, all right, and we do matches every day on this mini hoop. And I've been nominated as commissioner. I recently just gave up the role. I'm no longer commissioner. And Booner, he wants me to reinstate.
Me and Lentz we're negotiating, trying to get him back as
now my lower
commissioner.
Third says commissioner of Office Hoops.
Well, that's who you are. We can't lose you, Commish. We need
this is part of our plea of
dude.
keeping you on board.
Trying to give my take on this thing, and I got WSN Office Hoops Commissioner. It's fine. I like it. Keep it. It's fine. But yeah, I think Dan's a Jared guy. It's clear, and it ain't changing. So no matter who if they're going to get a quarterback in the future, like some people out there, some people at this network they want the new guy, the cheaper guy, the guy that can move. Dan's never going to feel that way. I just don't see it. When they took Hendon, I think Dan was like, okay, we'll see. But I think that he's like, Jared's going to win this job, and he's going to stay my quarterback. Which, I don't blame him. People have to understand how hard it is in this league to have a quarterback that's top 10 at their position. There is a lot of teams, we bring this up all the time, there's a lot of teams that would take Jared Goff in a heartbeat, because even if you don't have a Mahomes, a Josh Allen, all these top-tier quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson, the next step is having a consistent quarterback that could put up top 5 numbers, and Jared Goff does that. It's actually it's a blessing. You're lucky if you can get a quarterback like that.
Yeah, that's why I always get confused a little bit, and I know people get mad when the stats get thrown out there. Our guy Lentz in the back is always mad, like, oh, well, he hasn't won anything. I understand, hey, you want to win a Super Bowl, you want to be able to go in the playoffs, and when you get to that Commanders game, right, you would prefer your quarterback not to have 5 turnovers. Get all of that. But also Jared Goff, if you do look at it, it's like, those people, if you are one of those people who are sitting there like, we want a different quarterback, we want a Josh Allen, a Lamar, it's so hard. And Dan Campbell has been in this league for how long, guys? Over half of his life. He understands what this league's about. It's so hard to find a quarterback that's a franchise guy, that's a consistent top 10 guy.
Yes.
Even guys who have talent, and one year they're top 10, like a Trevor Lawrence, guess what? There's going to be a year where Trevor Lawrence is 15th, and you're like, oh, you have the talent, but you were bad this year. The thing with Jared Goff is is he as talented as Josh Allen? Maybe not. But the word that I use for Jared Goff all the time is consistency. Year after year after year after year, he's putting his team in a position to be great. And if you have the right team around him, and that's the one argument too I hate all the time with quarterbacks, he needs the right team around him. Every quarterback does, guys. Like Patrick Mahomes, when you see they don't have the right team around Patrick Mahomes, guess what? They don't win. You saw it last year. Yeah. You see it with Tom Brady. Tom Brady, the years that they didn't have a perfect team around him, guess what? They didn't win. When they had the perfect teams and the perfect roster surrounding him, when it was offensive line, weapons, defense, that's when you win. And you can't sit here and argue, well, he gets paid too much to put the perfect team around him. No, he doesn't, guys, because other teams that pay quarterbacks that much money, they do it too.
You're right.
They do it as well. So, I don't know. I think, hearing Dan say that, and listen, I thought it was funny because he kind of basically comped him to Drew Brees, and he was like, he's Drew Brees. I thought that was funny. Yeah, similar style, but I think it's more so like Drew Brees. Guess what he was? He was very consistent.
Yes.
He was one of the most consistent quarterbacks you'll ever see. And he's a Hall of Famer, yes, and I'm not sitting here saying Jared will be a Hall of Famer, but the consistency of how good he is for the long period of time, you got to give him respect. And for those people who are don't want Jared Goff as your quarterback, guess what? Get used to it, because listen to Dan Campbell say all of that stuff about him. He's going to be here for the next 4 or 5 years. They're probably going to restructure his deal. It's going to push that even longer. There might be another contract extension. It's going to happen. He's a good quarterback, and you have a guy in your building that you feel like you can actually win with.
Yeah, and there's not too many guys that are playing that play the game like Jared Goff. The traditional pocket passer is dead. It's not even dying, it's dead. even in college football, there's not really any pocket passers anymore. It's a dying breed. So when you have a guy like Goff who is a traditional pocket passer, what do you expect him to do? Produce. And he's up there. If you look over the last couple of years in passing yards and passing touchdowns, he's up there with other quarterbacks over the last couple of years. He's productive, extremely productive, which is basically all you want. Now, we can all agree, would you like your quarterback to scramble for a first down? Yeah, you would. But the more important thing is, can you win games? Can you pass for a lot of yards? Can you pass for a lot of touchdowns? And can you keep the interceptions down? And he's done all those things. He did turn the ball over a lot in L.A., but he's actually gotten rid of that in
not
Detroit.
as much.
And he doesn't do it as much. So even though the pocket passer breed is dying, the benefit of that, though, is these guys that are pocket passers tend to play long careers. Like Jared, honestly, with where he's at, he's not someone that depends on athleticism. Most of it's cerebral. Most of it's in his head. He could probably play till his high 30s.
Easily. He don't get hurt a lot.
And he doesn't get hurt. And that's another thing I'm glad you brought up. Like, he's healthy. He doesn't get hurt.
Yeah.
You know, like Joe Burrow is incredibly talented. They haven't built an offensive line around him. But Joe Burrow has suffered injuries. Yeah. Guys have suffered injuries in this league. Jared doesn't. You know, he just stays healthy, knock on wood.
Jared, did they actually ask Jared about that? They talked about the longevity of a quarterback and how Tom Brady went into his 40s. How you see Aaron Rodgers, is 42 right now.
He need to retire.
They did ask Jared Goff about that, and Jared was like, hey, if I can play then and I'm helping a team win, like I'll play until I'm 40-something. Like I remember him saying that, maybe not word for word, but he was like, hey, I'll go as long as I can. As long as I have an opportunity to actually produce in this league, I'll keep playing. And I do think, like for Jared, I think that's something that he looks at to where if he's consistent, and again, he is consistent, and people in Detroit, you got to get used to him being your quarterback. Like at some point, that conversation of like we want a new quarterback, I think it just has to go away.
Yeah,
Yes.
It really does, because I think it's as old as time. Like it's like, dude, I'm tired of hearing this. I really am. And when you hear a head coach go out and talk to Brad Galley, shout out Brad too for the video. It was an incredible interview. But to tell Brad like, hey, this is our Drew Brees. Okay, as a fan base, all right, like let's roll then.
Yeah.
The only issue is, and some people in the chat were saying it, like with how much you pay him, need a defense. Guys, it's not just you paying Jared Goff, by the way. You pay every single offensive weapon on your team, every single offensive line. Like you are paying everyone.
Yeah.
And that's not the issue. The reason you're not paying defense isn't because of just Jared Goff. It's because you just paid a running back 20-something million. It's because you just paid a wide receiver 30-something, another wide receiver 30, or just under 30, an offensive lineman top-tier money. That's what it is, dude. So, like, the complaining has to stop at that point when it comes to Jared Goff.
Yeah, for the people that say, like, oh, we're not going to win a Super Bowl with Jared Goff and all this stuff, like, I understand that there are some negatives to his game. Like, on 3rd and 5, he's not gonna rush for a first down if the pressure's getting to him. But it's a lot easier to get worse at quarterback than it is to get better. The way if you want a new quarterback, we're going to have to suck for 2 years and pray for the number 1 pick. So for the people that want to replace Jared Goff, it's just it's not going to happen, and I think we all take him for granted sometimes because I mean he's been phenomenal for us.
Dante gave $5. Sorry about this, Jeff, but he said, "You're right, Booner. Goff is a lion, and Jeff, your boy Caleb Williams, is not coming to save the Lions. Watch out."
Yeah.
Now back-to-back good days for Rakestraw.
Shout out Dante.
It has been back-to-back good days.
Sorry about
for
that,
us.
Jeff. I had to say
I
it.
mean, well, I mean, Caleb Williams is not coming to the Lions, so we don't have to.
Would it be better to have a guy like that? Yeah, it would, obviously. Like, it's more skill and all that. But you have a consistent guy in your room. To Caleb's point, you move on from Goff, it's 80% of the time, guess what? You're getting worse at that position.
Brad that's the thing. Brad has said this before, too. It's much easier to downgrade at quarterback than it is to upgrade at quarterback. And people have to understand that. The way you get Caleb Williams or any quarterback, Drake May, you have to be bad. You have to pick top 5 in the draft. There are exceptions where you can get a Lamar or, you can get these Dak Prescott was like a 3rd-round pick. There are guys that come out of the draft that aren't first-round picks. It's not as common. You need to have a top 10 pick in this league, and to do that you need to suck, which the Lions have too many talented players. They're not going to be that bad. So until then, you can't even really have the conversation. Like, Hendon was a guy who you thought you were getting some sort of steal on.
Yeah.
He clearly wasn't what he was as advertised. So,
By the way,
newsflash. My bad.
I was just saying, when was the last time a quarterback, like, talk about if you don't do it in the draft, when was the last time a major quarterback was traded that actually helped the franchise?
Exactly. I mean,
Matthew Stafford, Jared Goff.
Exactly.
And what year was that? 6 years ago?
Yeah,
and before that, what was the last time that happened? Like, it doesn't, even in free agency, you don't see like Lamar leaving in free agency, Josh leaving in free
it was
agency.
like Sam Darnold, and he helped the Seahawks, but like that's
And he's an average quarterback, right? Like,
Yeah.
it is what it is. Like, you don't just get to be like, hey, we're moving on from Jared Goff. Okay, now who are you going to go get that's better than him? Like, let's go off the list, right? Who are the 8 quarterbacks that people usually rank above him? Are you getting one of them?
You're
No.
exactly right. I mean, outside of probably Goff, Stafford, Darnold, like all these quarterbacks are. I'm probably forgetting someone, but they're all homegrown and top draft picks. So, okay, if you want to replace Jared Goff and get a better quarterback than Jared Goff, let's suck for 2 years.
That's why the
pray for the
argument
number one pick.
is pointless. Like, it gets
It is.
nowhere.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, I want to have this narrative. I hate the guy. Like, all right, then what are we doing here at this point?
Yeah.
It's my bad, KG.
No, I was just going back to the fact that, Jared Goff, people forget he's a number 1 pick. And for a guy that got taken number 1, he has been to a Super Bowl. He has, been consistent throughout his NFL career. And I think people just forget the days of what not having a quarterback feels like. I was raised through the Joey Harrington era and every other quarterback that came after that, Jeff Garcia, Dante Culpepper, John Kitna, just the mess and litany of guys. And then you do get a guy like Matthew Stafford, but you don't win with him. So I think we're actually very blessed to have gotten Jared Goff, a quarterback like Jared Goff, back in a trade like that, and he's done nothing but improve. His Lions numbers are better than his Rams numbers. He is a better quarterback as a Detroit Lion than he ever was as a LA Ram, and he went to a Super Bowl with the Rams. You can say what you want about him. You ain't got to like the play style, but one thing he is accurate and he's consistent. The only thing he does not do well is when plays break down. That is it. He checks every other box, and I couldn't imagine where the Lions would be if they didn't have somebody like Jared Goff in their room right now.
Yeah, too. I want
Just
to
being real.
address this. Profile Surfer said Booner forgot about Darnold. Now he can't admit it. And then someone else also brought up Tom Brady was acquired by the Bucs. Guys, via trade, outside of the Jared Goff, Matthew Stafford one via trade, there hasn't. That's the one.
Yeah.
And if you want to look at free agency, like even the Sam Darnold thing, the point that I think we're all making here is if you ranked quarterbacks in the NFL, guess who's ranked above Sam Darnold? Jared Goff.
Of course.
Like Sam Darnold, again, perfect situation. Defense was it was the best defense in the NFL last year.
Yep.
Statistically, and if you just watch the film, the best defense. The JSN weapon, you had the offensive player of the year on that team. You had Kenneth Walker. You had a good O-line. It was perfect for him. You throw Jared Goff in that situation in Seattle, guess what he probably does?
Wins.
He does what
Because
Sam
he's
Darnold
a better
did.
quarterback than Sam Darnold.
And obviously everything has to be perfect to go win a Super Bowl, so I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, you throw Jared in there, they win a Super Bowl. But they're still successful and they still win. Jared Goff is a better quarterback than Sam Darnold. We all know that. So it's like, hey, Sam Darnold's the one. That's the example you guys want to use. That's a downgrade at quarterback. It is.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how else to say it.
Yeah, and it's tough because like Seattle had a bunch of good players on cheap contracts. I mean, on defense, they had a great defense, which is obviously very important. And you need a lot of things to go your way to win a Super Bowl. It's just how it is. Like, for Goff, like, is he better than Darnold? Yes. Is he making more money than Darnold? Yes. But what I will say about the contract, and that's been my thing too, like, I can understand why the contract would probably be like, all right, it's a lot of money.
Bro,
I
it's the market.
thought they've done a good job. Number one, it is the market. But number two, I think they've done a good job of at least structuring it to where that percentage of cap number stays kind of friendly. It's if I'm not mistaken, it's right around 12 or 13%.
Yeah.
Which I think is like the Easy brought it up initially, just that number that he needs to stay around. So the most important thing right now for the Lions to get there and win a Super Bowl, I've said this consistently too, is you got to hit on draft picks, specifically on defense, and you need to have young, cheap players producing for you. It's hard when you don't have money to spend in free agency and your roster is top heavy with all types of talent, guys that we look at. We talked about it yesterday. A roster full of young guys that are hitting their primes. It's exciting. But you need to fill the rest of the roster out with guys that are cheap and producing. And it sucks that the last two draft classes haven't went your way because that really does take a hit on this whole thing. You need to hit on draft picks. That's what the Lions need to continue to do. And I think this recent draft class gives you more optimism for that because I do like this draft class. And
That's the biggest thing with this whole conversation is you guys can go at Jared Goff all you want. I've said this before in the offseason, and this is where it's like I've been consistent. People need to stop having the Jared Goff conversation. It needs to start being this defense. Like it always goes back to, hey, what's the number one issue with this team? What's the one thing in the offseason that they need to fix, or is the problem? There's a group of people, boom, who are just constantly bring up Jared Goff.
Yeah.
They bring up the quarterback. It needs to kind of turn, and the narrative needs to be this defense. That's I've had this conversation
Seriously.
with a million people, with Lance, with Easy, with all these different people. Like, the number one thing that needs to get brought up every time you talk about this team needs to be the defense going forward.
Yeah.
Kelvin Shepard, how they're building this defense, the missed draft picks, the free agent signings that haven't worked out or you missed on and didn't go out and actually get, like the Carlton Davis, let him walk. Like, those are the conversations that need to be had instead of a top 5 offense and a quarterback that's been the most consistent in the NFL for the last 5 years.
Even with a bad offensive line last year.
Yes.
He put up his best statistical season as a Lion.
Yeah, like I always think of there's teams like the Eagles who had Carson Wentz, who was a top 2 pick, and then they got Jalen Hurts in the second round, and it was an easy transition. But then there's other teams like the Falcons who had Matt Ryan. They made a Super Bowl, and after Matt Ryan, it's been a disaster. I mean, they had Kirk Cousins. They drafted, didn't work out. He tore his Achilles. He was coming off an Achilles tear, didn't really work out. But they had Michael Penix. They took top 10, and Michael Penix at this point seems to be a bust. Like, and now they signed Tua Tagovailoa, and it seems like they're in kind of quarterback purgatory.
Yeah,
like it's tough when you move on, and Matt Ryan retired, obviously, but it's hard. It's hard to find a franchise guy, and once you get a hold of one, even if he's not Josh Allen, okay, especially a guy who's top 10 and putting up top numbers, that you have to just be like, you know what, we're happy with this.
Some of these teams take these guys top 5. Anthony Richardson, like the Trey Lance, all those guys.
Yeah, and
it happens. And
bro, they didn't even
typically
think
don't work
Lamar.
out.
They was trying to make Lamar a receiver, and they thought Josh Allen was garbage.
Yeah.
when they came out,
it's hard to sit here and just put your foot down and be like, oh, it's so easy to go get another guy that's going to come in and do what he does. It's just not that easy, guys. And that's why I think Dan Campbell, someone who has been in this league for as long as he has, and has been around great quarterbacks like Drew Brees, now Jared Goff, he understands, like, hey, that's my guy. Yeah. Like, that's our quarterback of the future for a long time. And to hear him say that, like, I think it should just shut some people up when it comes to the Jared Goff conversation.
We do have some super chats I want to get to. James, appreciate the 5. So many first-round picks are duds. Look where Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady were taken in the draft. It is a gamble for sure, but we need an understudy. Fair. If you want to take a quarterback every year.
What's been my take with that?
Yeah, take one every year.
I say great franchises, and if you're always competing, the Patriots did it forever. You've seen the 49ers do it. Elite franchises that are at that level and you already have a team built, guess what you have the luxury of doing? Every year you can go out and get a quarterback in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th round. Just keep taking shots until you feel like you found your guy of the future. Like, that needs to be a thing. I've always had that. I've had that take since day one I was at Woodward last time. Like, I've had this take for 6 years. Let's go get a quarterback every year in the draft.
Appreciate that, James. We have Dante, too. Appreciate the 5. He says, I have a question. Worse injury luck, the Chargers or the 49ers or the Lions?
Yeah, I just saw the report.
The Chargers just lost their center for the year because damage to his ACL. Yeah,
and other knee injuries, they said. So, yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, additional knee
injuries. That's the guy we wanted here in Detroit, Tyler Biadasz. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's good, too. He's a good
they were saying
from the Commanders, I think.
They might call up old Graham Glasgow.
No, there's no way. You know what? Actually, something interesting. He
played,
a name that we haven't heard.
Graham ain't taking that job.
He was with Jim Harbaugh.
Graham ain't finna do that again.
No, he's definitely not. He's not good. They're gonna look at all of his stats last year and be like, whoa.
He wanted to be a guard anyway. He never wanted to be a center.
Well, they moved Jake Slaughter to center and signed Graham as a guard.
Oh, Jake Slaughter out of Florida. That's he could be the best center out of that draft class this last year.
That's who I wanted the Lions to take.
One name, by the way, that has not get brought up all offseason long, Taylor Decker.
Yeah,
I think he's just.
Is it over for him?
It's over. Teams ain't calling for him. Unfortunately,
that's crazy.
No disrespect to him, but yeah, you watch now.
Like, left tackle's a position. No one's just going to call them in the middle of the season and have him just play.
Yeah,
like, if he's not on a team now, then I don't know.
Though I think it was the Commanders lost their left tackle, or someone recently just lost their left tackle. And everyone was like, Taylor Decker. And then they end up being like, our backup's going to step in.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, we don't.
Well, the Rams did that. Well, their tackle was like facing legal stuff. And then they're like, well, we have another guy we like.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. Let me tell you about our friends over at Planet Fitness, and then we'll continue this conversation. We'll have the DOC on in a couple of minutes. Planet Fitness has over 60 locations throughout Metro Detroit, so they're always close to you. Planet Fitness High School Summer Pass is back and live until August 31st. Again, teens 14 and 19 can work out in Planet Fitness for free all summer long. Register online at planetfitness.com.
For more Detroit Tigers coverage, make sure you subscribe to Woodward Tigers on YouTube. All Tigers, all the time. For the hardcore Detroit sports fans who can't get enough of the Motor City's teams. All season long, you'll get non-stop Tigers content. From on-field interviews, post-game reactions, and roundtable insight from Woodward Sports.
It is Joey with Woodward Sports, and in 2017, I trusted Dr. Yeldo with my eyes, and it was the best decision I've ever made. No more glasses or contacts, just clear vision every single day.
Hi, I'm Darren McCarty, 4-time Stanley Cup champion. If I had LASIK back in the day, I probably would have won 8 Stanley Cups. So if you're thinking about LASIK, do it now. Tell them, Doc.
Come see me. You have nothing to lose. It's a free consultation.
For a limited time, LASIK only $19.99 per eye. Call Yeldo Eye Center. Let them know Woodward Sports sent you. But please don't wait like I did. Call them now.
Some days call for light, others lean bold. what about everything in between? All Day IPA, the easy choice for every day. Citrusy, crisp, refreshing. Flavor you can float with. Light on the hops, big on refreshment. One's great. 2, even better. Brewed with you in mind. No shortcuts, no fuss. Big on flavor, never too much. All Day IPA. Hop into easy.
Jahmyr Gibbs, breakout season, loading.
Inside the 5, Gibbs to the end zone, touchdown!
Woodward Sports, the most dominant Detroit sports coverage around.
All right, guys, we are excited to welcome our family over there at Icon Auto Repair and Collision to the Woodward Sports family. If you guys have ever been in an accident or your vehicle, if it needs repairs, make sure you trust the team over at Icon Auto Repair and Collision. Guys, they have 3 convenient Metro Detroit locations. You see it on the screen there. Shelby Township, Madison Heights, and Pontiac. And, guys, they also offer free car loaners and even offer to pay your deductible, guys. Visit iconauto.com. It's the Icon that you can count on.
We're back. It's crunch time here on Woodward Sports. More to get to. We're going to have the doc join in a couple of minutes. The TA situation. I don't know if you guys are watching Hard Knocks or not, but John Schneider basically said, paraphrasing, that if TA was on the Seahawks when everything occurred, TA probably would have been cut. Because it's always in the NFL, and this is something I'm learning, and GMs already know this. If this happens, the first team is always supposed to cut the player. That's what John Schneider basically said. The second team is awarded the luxury of kind of taking the player without all the baggage.
Yeah, it makes sense.
You know, like if TA was on the Seahawks and this happened, the Seahawks would have cut him, and then the Lions would have, or they wouldn't have done it, but some other team would have picked him up, and then it's like, oh, well, he just went to that team.
You basically, I'm not going to say you don't have the baggage with it, but it's like you don't have, what do you have to lose at that point?
Yeah.
You know?
So that's where I was like, okay, you know what, that makes sense, I guess. I mean, we said it, but again, understand it. He wasn't looking like the first-round pick he was expected to be. So that obviously helped with the decision. If he was really good, this probably would have been a little different, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But he is on the exempt list, so he can't practice or play. He's on the commissioner's exempt list, which we did talk about when he was not cut yet on the Lions, that was probably going to happen. I think Doc brought it up too. But they're going to probably strategically work this out to where they announce it after preseason, because then at that point I believe he won't count against the roster spot. I think that's like the actual how that works.
Yeah, I was watching the clip in Hard Knocks, and it basically, there was a clip that got released. We can't play Hard Knocks clips, which it would be sick if we could. But John Schneider was talking to Terrion's agent, and they basically were saying, and kind of the thought process with John Schneider wasn't, hey, he's coming in, and hopefully we can get him to play like instantly, and he's going to fit on this team. John Schneider kept telling Terrion's agent, hey, this is really a long-term play. Like we want to help him out as a human and as a person and help grow as a person, but also obviously on the football field too. Yeah. And John Schneider kept telling the agent, like, hey, like as long as you guys understand this is a long-term thing, this is probably not going to be something where TA plays right away for us. Like we want to help him out. And again, to Jeff's point, other teams around the NFL have the, I don't want to say like not leverage, but they have the opportunity to where they can do that because the Lions, I can read the transcript here if you guys want. Like, it was an interesting conversation. Was it Jay Harbaugh? Jay Harbaugh's the special teams coordinator.
Yes.
He was speaking with John Schneider about it. He asked John Schneider, this is it right here. He says, if you're the Detroit Lions, why would you release him? John Schneider then says, well, it was because it was very shocking. Like, if you read the Athletic article, it's not good, you know? And then Harbaugh follows up and he says, and would you imagine if it was flipped, it would probably be the same thing here. And that's when Schneider goes, I think we probably would have let him go because, or Jay says, because it's just the nature of like when you're the team, it's different than the second chance team. So
I
like,
agree with that.
It makes sense. Like if you're the Lions, what do you do?
Yeah.
Like that's your first round draft pick. All the pressure
that
is on you.
in Detroit,
and it happened while you were there. To where if you're the Seahawks or you're the second team, it didn't happen there. Like you can bring him in, and if it works out, awesome. If it doesn't, awesome. Like we did what we could to help the player out and the human out, and we gave him a chance. And if it doesn't work out, hey, we took a flyer on a guy, and he's probably not going to get a massive contract. I'm sure Detroit still has to pay some a contract. I don't know how all that works, but if you're the Seahawks, it's kind of like it's a no-brainer. And like in the phone call too, like Terrion, like his agent was like, "Hey, we have like 7 other teams that want to get this done, so we need a confirmation on you." And he wants to be in Seattle, so it was like, "Hey, there are teams out there that have no risk at taking Terrion Arnold on their team. Whether you're like the Jets, where you're just not a good franchise right now, and why not just get a flyer on a guy, or you're the Seahawks who just won a freaking Super Bowl, and they can get a flyer on a guy because they literally just won a Super Bowl, and they don't have to worry about having to build the roster fully up because it's already built up. So to me, it was a no-brainer for the Seahawks, and it makes sense. The whole thing makes sense.
Yeah, we have the doc on, so we're going to be joined by him. We'll get to talk some training camp, injuries, everything that's going on, especially this TA stuff. The publisher of Detroit Lions on SI, our good friend John Macaroon. Detroit Lions on SI on YouTube as well. John, how we doing, my friend? Good to have you back.
Great to see you, fellas. Summer's going on. Man, training camp is going by quick. And I'm excited to check in with the Lions and see how they perform against the Commanders at Ford Field.
What'd you think about the TA stuff with John Schneider? How the first team always has to make the tough decision of cutting the player. I think it's because of who the player was. Again, if TA was like an all-pro corner, I don't think he would have been cut. But John Schneider essentially said the first team, usually has to make that decision. The second team doesn't have to deal with all the pushback. So what'd you think about that and now him being on the exempt list before we get into training camp?
I thought I was, thinking about what I wanted to watch last night, and I actually caught up because I definitely always enjoy watching Hard Knocks. I watched episode 2 and 3 last night, and man, it's really cool to see how the Seahawks operate. And I was also fascinated by the agent going, I also want TA to develop as a person. It's so important. I just thought his agent came off as real cool as well, trying to really advocate for her client. I got 6-7 other teams. I got to let them know, make sure this is the right spot. So I was like, man, you got a little glimpse of how an agent really has to sell their client no matter what is going on. But the Seahawks, look, and we talked about it last time, and NFL teams too, it's all about winning. And when you're at that highest level, and we've talked about it too when we talked about Michigan and Michigan State, you got to make decisions in regards to who you have around the program, who you bring in. But bottom line, it's a talent business, and they sense that Terrion has something to bring. And there's something there. There's obviously relationships he has with Jalen Milroe, a player that they sat down and talked to. And bottom line, in the NFL, it's all about winning. And if any player, irregardless of what they bring to the table, psychological issues, a troublemaker, disruptive potential cancer in the locker room, if you can ball in the National Football League, some teams will overlook it. And that's just the way it is. Talent trumps all. And I can relate to that on a very deep level. And that's how it goes. But yeah, for the Detroit Lions, no turd policy. They followed it. And I agree with the Lions' decision.
Yeah, Doc, obviously we haven't spoke with you since the Lions' last preseason game, the first preseason game of the year. One of the big kind of storylines of this game was the center position, offensive line as a whole. What are your thoughts on what's going on so far within this offensive line room, the center, kind of the Seth McLaughlin, Juice Scruggs being back, and then as well as them kind of working Tate into this thing? Where are you at with that center position?
Yeah, the Cade Mays injury, really, and this is where I started to put on X at Detroit Podcast. I said, I'm not overly concerned about the offensive line, but my concern level is steadily rising. So if you ask me, my concern level is a 5 out of 10, and here's why. I would have liked to have seen throughout training camp the starting offensive line gel. Well, Cade Mays' injury doesn't make that happen. So what starts happening is now you have to shuffle. Now you have Seth McLaughlin in there. Now you have Juice Scruggs getting in the mix. Now you're trying to put Tate Ratledge there. I don't want to hear about Tate Ratledge playing center. That's not his best position. And that's similar for the fans that are paying attention to kind of what happened to Graham Glasgow. He openly said, I came back to want to play guard. And they put him at center. It was a disaster. And obviously the Lions know sometimes they're forced to try these things, but any rep that Tate Ratledge takes at center kind of takes away from his development at right guard. And I just want players to be at their top position all the time. I wanted the offensive line to gel. So what we see is it's going to take maybe a little bit more time. And obviously you're seeing the reports at times that the handoffs are a little bit wonky with McLaughlin and Juice Scruggs. You saw a scrimmage in which the defense dominated. I don't know if that would have happened if Cade Mays was in the mix. But right now, training camp is all about trying different combinations, seeing what works. And I understand that's the purpose of training camp. Make all those mistakes. But there's a cost for that. When the season starts, it's going to take a little bit of time. And so maybe the Lions' offensive line is not going to gel right away. But eventually, I do believe the offensive line, if they start with Juice Scruggs, probably will be in the best spot. I think Juice Scruggs should be the starter. He's got the most experience. And Seth McLaughlin will be a solid backup in that role. So we'll see how it plays out. But it's going to take time because you read Juice Scruggs had a couple handoff issues.
Well, stay on the preseason game, at least who was behind Seth McLaughlin taking those snaps. Josh Dobbs and Luke Altmaier. I know they've had a bit of a quarterback battle, but you kind of know. They brought in Josh Dobbs to be their veteran, a guy who started in this league. But what have you thought about those two, the addition of Josh Dobbs, the progression of Luke Altmaier, and just where that quarterback 2 position kind of lines up? And also, do you think they keep all 3 quarterbacks?
No, in my 53-man roster, which I did, it was I'm very happy with how it shook out. I feel like very measured, very realistic. You can check it out at Lions on SI. And I have Dobbs as the veteran backup. He knows Drew Petzing. That gives you a big leg up, and he'll get more reps at training camp. Now, Luke Altmaier has been getting a hefty amount of reps to showcase what he's about. But look, you don't expect an undrafted free agent to go out there and win the job, but he's been doing some things. Now, what I like about Altmaier is that he's confident. He's got the ability to shake things off, shake off mistakes, and make his progressions. But at times, like any young quarterback, he holds on to the ball just a little bit too long and forces the football at times and has some more turnovers. I think for the Lions, you want a steadying force. Look, Luke Altmaier is going to be part of this team this year on the practice squad. I have no doubt about it. And Josh Dobbs, I think, for the purpose of what you need. Somebody that if Jared Goff goes down for a game or two, can manage things. He knows Drew Petzing is somebody that has experience in the NFC North, so it's fine. But do I feel warm and fuzzy if Goff has a lingering multi-week injury that Josh Dobbs is going to save you? No. It's just like every other team. If the starting talented quarterback goes down, you're going to have a problem with the Detroit Lions. So I'm all in favor of just them looking and actually getting a true quarterback that is developing to be the starter. But if you just listen to Dan Campbell, and this is a whole thing you can go down the road of, if the tenure fails with Dan Campbell, one of the big reasons is I think he overvalues Jared Goff. Now, he's supposed to say that publicly. He's supposed to love on Jared Goff. But there are some things about Jared Goff's game that still need to be improved and worked on. But Dan Campbell, I think, sees a lot of himself in the starting quarterback in terms of a gritty guy, overlooked, not many people. He's not universally loved. And so I can see where Dan Campbell is just enamored with Jared Goff. But sometimes you have to remove yourself from that and say, hey, can this guy step it up in the biggest moments? This year, let's see it. You got all the tools needed. So let's see if you can make a deep run. Let's see if Jared Goff can carry a team, because look, we all know the Lions are not going to probably be in the postseason as one of the most healthy teams. So let's see what happens when something doesn't go your way. Can Jared Goff elevate? And I'm hoping that he does. But man, the way you see Dan Campbell talk about Jared Goff, I don't know if Dan Campbell will coach a Lions game where Jared Goff is not his quarterback. And that might be the downfall of his tenure.
Yeah, I want to ask you, Doc, specific kind of battle here going on at training camp, I think is one of the bigger ones outside of offensive line is the corner room, obviously. You have the Ennis Rakestraw stuff going on, Nick Whiteside. I think we all know who the kind of 1 and 2 corners are going to be, but those outside corners in that room right now, what are your thoughts on the performances so far of Ennis Rakestraw? The one thing I said is I liked the fact that he gets hurt in that preseason game and then bounces back, and all you hear is good things coming out of camp from him. What are your thoughts on kind of the way Ennis is approaching training camp, and if potentially is he on the bubble? Is he in this team on the roster? What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, you guys in the chat were mean, or some of you were mean. After Ennis Rakestraw left the game with what basically was a bruise or an arm contusion, all of y'all were calling him Ennis Breakstraw. Y'all were a little sensitive out there. But look, bottom line, I'm really happy that Ennis Rakestraw rebounded and is not on any injury list, because this fan base is very sensitive to injuries. Marcus Davenport signed with the Bears. I saw the Lions' reactions. It was great. Just seeing the fans just kind of clown a little bit, the Bears fans, and realizing, man, some fans were a little bit scared that Marcus Davenport is going to end up balling out. I don't think so. But in terms of the Lions cornerbacks, first of all, we have to put a little caveat on and some context that Ennis Rakestraw had his best practice when J-Mo wasn't there. That changes the dynamic quite a bit. when the best speedy receiver's not there. But first and foremost, Ennis Rakestraw hasn't practiced fully in a couple years. This is not a guy that doesn't have no talent. He's a draft pick, second-round pick. The question mark is going to be, can he stay healthy? So far, so good. You hope that he can complete a game. I hope he's one of the starters that ends up playing against the Commanders. He needs the reps. And I do think that there's a chance that he's going to play a lot. Do I think he's going to be a starter? No. I think that, Dan Campbell is somebody that is very wise and very traditional. And when you see Rock Ya-Sin battle day in, day out, he's just consistent. And even though maybe Ennis Rakestraw is more talented, Rakestraw has a little bit more of an uphill climb, being that he's getting a lot of second-team reps. He is getting some opportunities with the first team, as he should. But I think you start the year with some consistency, Rock Ya-Sin, and then Ennis Rakestraw will play on the outside as well. But and I do think eventually Rakestraw could be a solid, outstanding outside corner, but he's got more work to do. He's still raw. So I hope that he continues his development. It's great to see. And then it's also great to see Keith Abney getting those opportunities in those looks. That's what training camp is to see how do you fit on the second team and then go up against the Lions' first team offense. He's held his own. He's made plays. He's a gamer. He's consistent. And from everything that I've read, per luscious sources, this is a guy that's got the big personality, wants to work hard. And I hear that he's potentially going to have, maybe after a football career, a wonderful media career. He's got that big personality. So it's nice to see a player like that, because it takes a lot of mental toughness to play corner. But did you guys see the rep, though, online in which, was it Tesla that cooked him? If my memory serves me right.
Yeah. Yes.
Was that Ennis Rakestraw kind of looking a little lost against Tesla? But it's all fun and games. You realize, look, man, the cornerback position's hard. You got to just put aside all the bad plays. Everybody's looking at you. When first of all, if you're a Rakestraw or you're any cornerback on the Lions, you got to hit up admin and be like, listen, do I got to slip you a C-note to stop highlighting all the great plays where I'm getting cooked? I mean, my God, Tesla makes one play in practice, and everybody's talking about, wow, Tesla's back on track. Where you actually dig a little deeper, and the practice where Tesla had the highlight catch, if you watched the Seahawks Hard Knocks, you saw a little bit of the glimpse of how teams evaluate. Every rep, you get a plus or a minus. Throughout the whole practice, Tesla's getting minuses because he's invisible, is not winning reps. He makes one highlight catch, gets let's say a plus, and everybody's like he had a good practice. But if you read deeper, the description of his practice that day, I believe it might have been Monday, was invisible until he made the highlight catch. So I love the confirmation bias for some fans, but the way I want to look at it is I'm happy with the cornerbacks right now, but I'm always looking for some more development, and I'm really happy to hear about Whiteside, and you just feel a little more comfortable than where you were. Am I fully comfortable? No, but you're a little bit feeling like the cornerbacks can make a case that that some guys should be on this roster to develop throughout the year. But when you face other opponents, I can't wait to see the Lions corners against Garrett Wilson, Jefferson, some of the corners, Reed in the division. I can't wait to see it.
Doc, speaking of the defense, I got to ask you about the star of the show, man. The guy I am calling the Pharaoh, your boy Ahmed Hassanin, was out there making plays, man. We saw the 2 sacks, one of them being a strip sack, and everything that you kind of heard, that was going on in training camp, you were finally able to see it on the field, albeit a preseason game. What were your takeaways from Ahmed Hassanin, and how much can he really contribute this season?
Great question. I think that, first of all, you had a sense early on, and you realize there's things that he brings to the table in regards to his physical tools. A relentless energy, wants to learn, great teammate, somebody that will endear himself to the locker room. He's got everything you would want from a football standpoint. But the other two, off the field, he's just an outstanding person that wants to be loyal to a team and wants to have the opportunity to grow as a player. So once the Lions drafted him, it endeared him to the Lions. He's like, wow, this team took a chance on me in the 6th round. And then he gets injured in the preseason. So you realize, okay, now that he's in a different position, but the Lions still wanted him around. And he wants to repay the Lions every single day for the opportunity. And I understand that from a perspective of myself. On Sports Illustrated, never in a million years had to take a chance on a podcaster. And they did. And so when they did, when they said, we want you to join, I said, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that what you guys did for me and what you allowed my life to turn into will be rewarded. And I'm still doing that to this day when I don't have to. It's a blessing. And so I have extra motivation. I don't have to be an NFL reporter. I have other things going on, but I want to show the loyalty to the company that showed me respect. And I've had offers to go elsewhere for more money, but I just said I'm loyal to On Sports Illustrated for the time being, and I want to showcase why it's important to be loyal. And that's what Ahmed Hassanin's doing. And what's great is I think that when you got the vision, you have to dream big. If you're somebody that's starting something and you just want, if you're a crunch time sports program, you want to be on Woodward Sports. You don't want to just stay by yourself on YouTube. You want to join a big outlet. That's what you guys did, and you are rewarded for it. For Ahmed Hassanin, he's dreaming, I want to be the guy opposite of Aiden. And eventually he might be able to get a lot of those reps. But I think early on you got a tough hill to climb because you got Derek Moore, who's got talent. You got DJ Wonham, and you got Tyler Lacey. But what I see this year, I see 5 sacks. I see him working his way up the depth chart. I think that he's going to have opportunities to play on clear pass rush downs, the big end spot. And at the very least, I'm very happy that my fellow reporters will put him on the 53-man roster like I did before the season. I knew his intangibles would make it very, very much so that he's going to be a player. He's just a player the Lions and Dan Campbell would like. Relentless energy. If you watched last night, the linebacker haul, I think the crazy one that was like getting after the quarterback, that's Ahmed. Ahmed did that last year. Ahmed Hassanin told me, which I didn't report, I remained professional. It got out later to someone else, a colleague of Hefe's, but I heard it first, and I kept it quiet. Ahmed almost took out Jared Goff last year. He was too close, but he's like, and Dan said it a little bit this year. He said, you'd rather pull back a guy than having to start someone's engine. So Ahmed is full go. He's a lion, and he's all grit. And if you use the definition, all gas, no brakes, that's Ahmed Hassanin. And I'm glad that I got to know him on a little bit better level than a lot of players. And for some reason, maybe it's the Mediterranean olive oil skin, a couple family members seem to have taken a liking to the DOC, and it's been fun to learn about the player a little bit away from the professional standards.
Doc, I'm going to ask you about the nickel position. There's been battles. Abney got a lot of first-team snaps yesterday, and that's my guy. I think he'll be the nickel of this team for the future. But how do you see that nickel battle going and some of the guys that are competing? Because when they signed Roger McCreary, I think many assumed that he would kind of be leading the race. Izzian's in there, Keith Abney. What do you think about that nickel battle, and who do you think takes the job at the end of the day?
Yeah, I think the starting secondary would indicate Avonte Maddox and Chuck Clark at safeties, and Christian Izzian might be a very solid nickel addition. McCreary's been up and down. He's starting to make a couple more plays, but by and large, he's had an invisible camp. We have him on an early surprise cut list. I just think that when you see what McCreary's bringing to the table, you would think that he would do a little bit more to showcase himself, but I think he's fallen back in the race. I think that Izzian, Ennis Rakestraw, Keith Abney have all served the purpose. And if you ask me right now, I think by and large, everybody kind of agrees that McCreary is like third in the race. So it's disappointing, but this is a player that bounced around the league. He is only on a 1-year deal. It's not punitive if you move on, but you could keep him as somebody to learn and grow. But in terms of just making plays and sheer attention level, McCreary is not getting much. There's no buzz really behind Roger McCreary. The buzz is with Izzian. The buzz is with Keith Abney. And I think that Ennis Rakestraw can fill that role as well. So just a little bit disappointing because, anytime that you invest in a player and a free agent, give him a 1-year deal, prove it. Some will prove it, some won't. But McCreary has a longer way to go. I hope he showcases more in the next couple games.
Hey, what do you think about when it comes to, defensively, the linebacker room, Jimmy Roller? That news kind of came out in the last 24 hours that he potentially could be back. You have guys like Eric Hunter, obviously Trevor Nowaski, but then the big one, Devin White, getting signed on there. What were your thoughts on how he's been playing, especially in that preseason game? It looked like him and Trevor Nowaski were clearly hey, those are the top 2 guys outside of Jack and Derek Barnes. What are your thought processes on how this room kind of turns out? Especially, I think the big news, no one really thought Jimmy Rolder would be back before that 53-man roster gets completed. And yesterday, he says, hey, I might be back in the next couple weeks. That changed a lot for a Damone White, those guys, or Damone Clark, sorry. What are your thoughts on that room right now?
Yeah, no. What is Booner? Is that a Freudian slip? If it's all white, it's all right. Is that the way you're thinking right now? It's Damon Clark, but I look at it from.
I switched it up. I corrected myself. Come on, now, Doc. I'm a
you
pro.
got White, Devin White on the brain. I got you.
Devin White, Damon Clark. I got him. I'm excited.
No, I got you. I hear you. I hear you, Booner. I look at it from the perspective of the linebackers, and Damon Clark, just to me, I think he's going to be on the outside looking in. Devin White, just solid addition. Really, when you realize what you got in that veteran player, hopefully you get the guy from Tampa Bay, and he's been solid, making plays, been around the football, veteran savvy. To be able to do the best he can. He's still got work to do. Now, every player has their ups and downs in terms of Devin White, like anybody else, like a Derek Barnes. They got to do a lot better job in coverage, which is the toughest part of the linebacker job. I mean, if you're Derek Barnes, you got to be like, really? You got to show me getting cooked by Jahmyr Gibbs, where he took the wrong angle and Gibbs just goes right by him. But Devin White, great addition. Jimmy Rolder. It stinks that he missed a little bit of time of development, but I think the Lions clearly like what he brings to the table. He's a gamer. I think that he'll be somebody that I think will develop quickly and get out on the playing field. But right now, simple as this, many people have some question marks about the defense. The least thing I'm concerned about is the linebackers. Jack Campbell's going to lead the way. Derek Barnes needs to step it up. He's more motivated. And you get Devin White in there, and he's going to bring in a little bit of that veteran savvy experience. And sometimes you do get a little bit of a silver lining where the Jimmy Rolder injury happens. Now you're kind of forced to maybe take a look at Devin White, and you bring him in, and he kind of fits. So I love the opportunity that Devin White has. I think it stabilizes the room. And Trevor Nowatzki has always been somebody that the Lions like around, special teams player, can do some things, but still needs to develop. And then we still haven't talked about, because of the injury, I'm also fascinated. My eyes are going to want to read about, hopefully in the next couple weeks, is Malcolm Rodriguez. And I think that he can bring more to the table and just going to make everybody better. If you get some contributions from Malcolm Rodriguez, man, that's just going to make the linebacker room better. But for me, defensive line and the secondary are a lot more concerning. You can rest easy that the linebacker room is all right because they have Devin White.
You mentioned the defensive line. I know they've been pointing out some guys making plays for the D-line, and I think PFF had the Lions as one of the better D-lines, or at least a good D-line in the NFL. With the resurgence potentially of Aleem, Tyleek taking a step, with Aiden being Aiden Hutchinson, and, the rest of the guys, you mentioned Ahmed Hassanin. Is there a reason to be excited about this defensive line? I know you mentioned there's a little bit of concern, but why is that to you, Doc? And what are your thoughts on the outlook of this defensive line?
Yeah, for sure. Just a real quick sidebar. Booner, I just want to confirm, where were your whereabouts last evening between the hours of 7 p.m. and 10 p.m.? You weren't down in Dearborn doing that Jake Lang kind of thing. I was seeing some prideful, what do you call it, protests out there, and I just want to make sure that we're still on the same field, that you support my people, that you're not one of those that are like, screaming at the top of their lungs that we should be a certain style of people all over this kind of world. You weren't there, right?
Doc, I have no clue. I don't even know what you're talking about right now. All I know is I was golfing last night at a beautiful golf course, and I was having a good time with Jeff Iafredi, our sales guy Bomber, and Darren McCarty. So I was having a great time on the golf course.
Okay, good. No, good, because those kind of issues are not going to apply to you more than me. I just want to make sure that you're not going to.
I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't even know. I'm so lost right now.
Good.
I thought we were talking football.
Yes, stay away from the local news. This is a Dearborn matter, a matter that's not really near and dear to my heart, but it was just, if you go look at it, type in Jake Lang, and I think you're going to spend 5 minutes going, wow, this country is going a little bit sideways at the moment. It's a non-football related matter, but I just wanted to make sure.
How about some football here, Doc? What do we think about this football team?
I just wanted to make sure, first of all, I'm more comfortable in environments where I feel supported, and I feel still supported.
Supported here, Doc.
This ain't that, Doc.
Woodward Sports Network.
Good. I feel everyone has their biases, and I just wanted to make sure you weren't there. You were golfing. We're good.
Yeah, I was doing a sport. Woodward Sports. Crunch Time Sports.
So, defensive line. Look, man. The question. Now I feel comfortable to share my opinion freely and keeping it real. I think the defensive line is much better than what maybe I thought going into it. I think that DJ Wonnum is a veteran that can set the edge. I'm really excited to see Derek Moore step it up, the emergence of Ahmed and Tyler Lacey. I think maybe you're going to get a player to perform opposite of Aiden. That's a good sign. My concern is a little bit with the interior. Obviously, Lee McNeil's balling out. Tyleek Williams, who's going to step up in terms of depth if something happens? So the depth is a little bit concerning. Levi's up and down a little bit. Chris Smith is emerging, so that's good to hear. I'm really happy to hear, and we're going to put out the story here in a couple minutes after we're done. Skylar Gill-Howard is taking the step forward. Tyree West has had a little bit of a slower start to training camp, but in terms of some of the question marks you have, some of the players are starting to answer it. But when the games get to counting, I want to make sure that they continue to bring the pressure. And if they adjust their defense a little bit to more nickel, how does that look if they use 5, down linemen at times? What's it going to look like when you mix and match? And by and large, I'm happy. I still have question marks to make sure that these guys are going to produce at a high level, because remember, this is training camp, and you realize that guys are working in and out trying to earn jobs. But if Skylar Gill-Howard can keep on this trajectory, it's good news. But the biggest question mark is going to be, can you get the pressure you need, and can the guys that are tasked with supporting Aiden Hutchinson take advantage? Because you would expect naturally teams are going to double, chip Aiden Hutchinson. He's going to have games where he's the focal point to take him away. Who's going to step up? And I think that, Derek Moore might seem to be that guy. Ahmed Hassanin might be that guy. Tyler Lacey might end up being a guy that gets some sneaky good numbers. So it's still a question mark until they go prove it, but they're starting to answer the questions in a good way, and I'm really happy to see that.
Hey, Doc, what are a couple people, obviously this Saturday, it's noon kickoff for the Detroit Lions' second preseason game. What are a couple different position battles that you're going to be looking for specifically this Sunday? And also, too, Sunday. I can't wait for Sunday football. On top of that as well, which starters do you think and do you want to see play this Saturday in their second preseason game?
Well, first of all, let's credit what you're hearing out of camp, which you want to see and love. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Hutch, Aleem McNeil, the stars, JMO, the stars are starring, which is great. Jahmyr Gibbs, that is great to hear. Your big money guys that you're paying, they're balling out on a daily basis. That's awesome to hear. I still want to see, does Mahogany earn more opportunities? Miles Frazier, I want to see, okay, the left guard battle's open, and it's still open, and somebody's got to take the reins and take the job. Is it going to be a Miles Frazier? Is it going to be Mahogany? I want to see that. I also want to see a little bit of some depth step up a little bit and establish themselves. Vito wrote a column, and it was a little scathing. I thought maybe a little strong, but he's that kind of guy. He's not afraid either. He said that the biggest loser coming out of the Bengals game was Brad Holmes, because the depth wasn't all that great in certain areas, and you want to see a little bit better play from the safeties. You want to see some of the linebacker room, step up, like you said, Damon Clark. Another battle I'm looking at, let's see. I like the opportunities that I'm seeing along the defensive line for some of the guys like Chris Smith to earn more playing times. I think, which was cool, is that I had him in, and his play has stepped up. You see that when you're given the opportunity. I think that when you have some question marks regarding who's going to play behind the starters, I want to see Chris Smith and Skylar Gill-Howard, who continues to step up. Chris Smith stepped up last week, and he got the praise. And then what's really fun, Dan Campbell said it, and it has started to lead to some debates that you hear online. If you pay attention, I don't have the name specifically, but bottom line, the Ravens have a surplus of cornerbacks. They cannot roster as many good corners as they have. So they're looking potentially to trade, unload one or two. And what they want is they want a wide receiver. So it would make sense that if you want to do some research today after listening to this fine program, go look at the Ravens depth chart at corner, and there's some good players maybe the Lions can maybe make a deal with and maybe give up a wide receiver. You have a plethora. I want to see which receiver continues to step up. Cedric Wilson's a dog, and he's a big fan. I just like his game. He's somebody that's professional, that I think is right there with a couple more big performances, can win a spot. Tom Kennedy, I want to see the wide receiver 4, 5, 6 battle kind of take more shape. Kennedy, I want to see him continue to take what he does on the field and move forward. Tay Martin is getting praised quite a bit. So the receiver spot, I want to see who steps up. If somebody steps up, maybe they don't win a spot here in Detroit, but they can be used as maybe a trade to Baltimore, maybe to pick up a corner that can boost depth. So pay attention to that, because it's out in the open, and just browsing some reading about the AFC teams and teams that I like to follow. The reports are out of Baltimore that they're maybe unloading some corners. But they don't want draft picks. They want receivers. So that's something I'm very fascinated to pay attention to.
Yeah, I think the conversation we've been having, and I think you're the perfect person to ask this too, with all the guys that are kind of UDFAs and battling for spots, Eric Hunter being one of those guys, Eric O'Neill, who's been making plays pretty consistently. Is there any UDFAs or guys that people might be sleeping on that you want more people to pay attention to or keep your eye out for, or maybe there's a guy that you like personally, Doc, to make this roster?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. To see the defense make plays, Hunter, O'Neill are doing their thing. I want to also see Luke Altmaier continue to push it a little bit. Look, the first interception wasn't his fault, but he was given an opportunity late in the game, and unfortunately, it was a turnover. The pass wasn't ideal, and that wasn't great. I want to see him continue to battle. I think Luke Altmaier is interesting as a player in regards to his athleticism. The work that he did out of the Big Ten, I think, was very fascinating and somebody that you can really rally behind. He's got the swagger. I think he's picking up the offense. I want to at least see it to be competitive with Josh Dobbs. So pay attention to him and his opportunities. Hopefully, not an undrafted free agent, but like everybody else, I want to see Isaac TeSlaa step it up a little bit more. I want to see him do a lot more work. So let me pull it up here real fast. I did my practice squad prediction, and I'm really I like the way the Lions have used their practice squad guys. They don't treat them as just guys that are there on the roster. They implement, they coach, and that's why you've seen guys that when the opportunity has presented itself have allowed themselves to be able to come in and play. But Anthony Lucas, another player that I want to see step up and do their thing. I like what he brings to the table. And so just pay attention to, the three that we just talked about, Anthony Lucas, O'Neill, and Hunter. And I think those guys are continuing to battle. It just sucked that Robichaud, had the situation in which he's injured now. He was starting to step it up a little bit. And so if you want to check it out, I have my initial practice squad prediction, 16 players I think that are going to make it. And it's going to be a nice little battle.
Hey, can I ask you real quick about Isaac TeSlaa? Or is there any concern? What are your thoughts on that? Because obviously he has the 2 drops. My kind of thought last week was, hey, drops was never a thing for TeSlaa. Obviously he's a guy that we've seen make insane catches. It was obviously always just going into this camp, can he create separation, route running, different things like that. What's the confidence level? Do you think he kind of gets to that point to where we're comfortable with him as the 3? They obviously feel that, but obviously there's been these reports that he's struggled a little bit. Where are you at with that, Doc?
Yeah, no, it's not reports. He's doing it in front of fans. They're all seeing it too. In that, first of all, it's going to be tough. So I'm slowing down my expectations for him. Just think about it at a common sense level. I want the ball going to Amon-Ra. I want the ball going to J-Mo a lot. I want the ball going to Gibbs a lot. You see him now, the reports are out of the backfield. He's just going to be the Alvin Kamara of the Lions. And he's just able to do that. And when Dan Campbell says untapped potential, they're going to tap it this year. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to get a lot of touches. So if you're paying Jahmyr Gibbs $20 million, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jamison Williams, and then I want Sam Laporta getting touches. That leaves TeSlaa as your 5th option. So I just need him to continue to develop, and there are legitimate concerns because here's what happens. Your rookie year, you start getting a handful of splash plays, and now you're at the spot where the coaches don't like it, where you're all a splash. You know what I mean? You're all like Doc, just a lot of splash. Eventually, you're like, okay, wait a minute. Doc comes in, a lot of splash, a lot of noise. Eventually, you got to be able to earn your keep and have some more substance, which is you do have to write features. You do got to do podcasts. You do got to report something. So with Isaac TeSlaa, what his substance is going to be is better separation, expanding the route tree, getting open. The issue at hand is that he's not the fastest dude, being his size and stature. So press man corners can kind of take him out of routes. So he's got to fight through that a little bit better. And he will. But I think that we should slow down some expectations for TeSlaa this year because of the fact you have so many more mouths to feed. I expect him to be a red zone target, a guy that can move the chains, somebody that's a big body target. But I don't know, I'm kind of looking maybe 35 catches, 400 yards, 6 touchdowns or so. But I want all the steak and potatoes, and I want all the targets to go to the big guys making all the big money. So again, too many mouths to feed is a good problem, but I'm not terribly concerned. But the issues at hand are he is playing now the XYZ receiver spot because of some injuries, and he's known to be a slot guy from college. So it's going to take a little time to adapt to. And remember, the funniest part was when I was out there to see some of the 5th, 6th, 7th receivers trying to learn Ben Johnson's route tree and timing. And one guy, me and Broder were laughing. One guy just had a hard time lining up at first, and he got chewed out. But also, too, you pay attention, Jared Goff won't throw you the ball. If the route is 1, 2, 3 break, and you got to be at this certain hash, if you're not there, you're not getting the ball. So it's precise, and it takes time. Remember, the same thing, that's why I can humbly share that the perspective is, for those of you that are concerned, the same thing kind of happened with JMO. It took a little time. The route, this offense is not easy. They make it look easy, but it's not easy. It's a timing-based route, and Goff is finicky, and he wants to develop the trust. It'll get there, but right now, I'm looking to the others to produce more than Tesla. Tesla's on easy street. Just get a little bit better every day and stop with the drops.
I want to ask you, we talked about the article. ESPN came out with their article, The Brightest Futures for the Next Couple of Years. The Detroit Lions made that list, and they factor in front office coaching, talent besides quarterback. Do you agree with that sentiment, Doc, that the Lions have one of the brighter futures in the entire NFL? Or you think they should be – I think they were like third on that list. Or do you think they should be a little lower than that?
Yeah, that's such a good question. Great article by ESPN. Look, here's the thing, and this is what I brought up with the great Jeff Rieger in my latest Doc Files podcast, which you can find on YouTube every single day. Go check it out as I create content and do the things that I also enjoy doing on a daily basis. Here's the thinking, and you guys got to work continuously on your shows 11 to 1 to get this thought out of my mind. Right now, as a skeptic, and remember, I am more skeptical than most. I'm older than most, so I am allowed to be skeptical a little bit. I'm seeing a good football team in the future, Pittsburgh Steelers type, Ravens type, but I don't care about that. I don't want a good football team in regards to, I don't care about sustained success. For me, what is the radar for the Super Bowl? And I think that this year they're kind of going a little bit away from that goal overall. Look, you have a good team with a lot of talent, and it's going to give you more cracks at the apple. That's all you can ask for. But can you eventually do what you need to do to put the whole puzzle together to win a Super Bowl? My desire is to finally get over the top. I'm not patient anymore. At my level and where I'm at, I'm just like, okay, cap this off. I don't want to be teased year after year after year. This is year 15 following the team on a daily basis, and this is year 8 as an NFL paid reporter. So you can be a fan. If you're a fan of the team, I understand the perspective of, we're going to be good. We're not ass. That's level 1. That's good. The Lions will not be ass over the next 5 years. Okay? That's fine. But I'm looking a little bit deeper in terms of, can the Lions cap this off? I have a little bit more doubts when your offensive line is shuffling. You got a new first-year coordinator in your system in regards to being here in Detroit. Can he step up? That's a question mark still. And do you have a defense that is championship worthy? You have some pieces, but I would have felt a lot better with Branch and Joseph healthy. So my answer is, I'm just feeling right now, I just feel like we're going to be teased for the next 5 years. You're going to get the Steelers after the Super Bowl, where they just are winning every year. Dan Campbell will be a winner. They'll get a 3-4 year extension, but I just don't feel the warm and fuzzies yet from the feeling that, do I believe this team is going to win a Super Bowl? So you guys in the chat can do a better job. Convince me. Hop in my chat. Hop in my comments. Take away my skepticism, because it's thick. It's just deep-rooted, and I'm open-minded to feel the warm and fuzzies. I don't, and I would definitely feel the warm and fuzzies better if the quarterback was more athletic. But you guys, I'm not closed-minded to not be convinced if they can make a push for the Super Bowl. It's going to be a good team, but I don't care about that. For me, as it's always been, it's 1 and nothing. That's the way I've always acted in my life. That's the way I've always acted in a competitive environment. And I'm hoping for this fan base, this rabid fan base, that this Lions team gives you the reward. I just have my doubts. That's how I feel. But you're going to be a good team for the next foreseeable future. You're not going to be bums, which is at least a win from where they started.
We appreciate you, Doc. Keep up the great work. You guys can read more of the Doc. Check them out on X at Detroit Podcast, Detroit Lions on SI. Doc, we'll talk to you next Wednesday, my friend. We appreciate you.
Thank you guys very much. And Booner, I'm very proud of you. Stick to sports, man. It's best policy.
Sports. Woodward Sports, Crunch Time Sports. Appreciate you, Doc.
There you go. The DOC.
Sports on
we got
Sports
to
Illustrated.
get to break. Tell us about, well, actually, we'll double up here. We got Buddies and Mortgage Pros.
Yeah, let me tell you about Buddies. Serving it up since 1946, Buddies Pizza is the best and the original Detroit-style pizza. Right now, you could get $10 off your $50 order for dine-in or carry-out by using new promo code WWS26. That's WWS26. With 20 locations across Michigan, there's always a Buddy's Pizza near you to cash in on this offer. Find a location near you or order online at buddyspizza.com.
And if you guys are looking for a career upgrade, check out Mortgage Pros, the #1 mortgage broker, guys, to work for in the entire state of Michigan. We were able to see their incredible company culture over at their annual block party a few months back. It was insane, guys. And with 4.9 stars on Google and over 4,000 reviews on there, their reputation, it speaks for itself. So if you are looking for a new job, give Mortgage Pros in Troy a call. You see the number on the screen there. It's 248-416-1361. Guys, it's Mortgage Pros. Let the pros handle it.
Thank you to all the fans for making Woodward Sports your #1 online destination for Detroit sports. We promise not to drop the ball.
Don't tell anyone, but I'm actually a baby. I came in with my mom. Next thing I know, I had a desk. But Feldman's deals are so good, even I can sell them.
Right now, get this 2026 Silverado for only $179 a month.
Great, another great deal. Looks like I'm working past nap time.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
All right, guys, there are regular sports, and then there is art, sports bars, and then there's Art and Jake's, guys. Nobody even comes close on game days. We have college football Saturdays coming up. We have NFL Sundays, Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, and, of course, you have your Tigers. Guys, they have over 80 wall-to-wall TVs with 22 draft beers on tap and probably the greatest food menu that you will find in the state of Michigan, guys. They're what you're looking for if you're looking to watch sports at a sports bar. Guys, and as well, you could scan the QR code on the screen there. I've recently become an A&J member, and you get different discounts, you get points. Go scan that code. You can become a member of the A&J Fans Club. Make sure you guys check them out and follow them at Art and Jake's on socials at a location near you. Guys, it's a sports bar setting with a fine dining flavor.
And big shout out to the lovely reps over at Gold Crown. They hooked your boy up for all of the hard work that he does on these weed reads every day. But they hooked me up with the Royal Jesters, the Blueberry Muffin. And listen, I'm not playing, y'all. I absolutely love these things. I got empty bottles in my backpack that I need to get rid of, but they are that damn good. And it's because they're Keef coated, live resin infused, THCA diamonds, and terpenes, all packed into 4 layers of I'm going to be feeling good once I get off work today. Michigan made, top tier, no shortcuts. Next time you at the dispo, don't think, just ask for the Royal Jesters, because if you're going to smoke, come on, y'all. Smoke like royalty.
We're back. It's Crunch Time here on Woodward Sports. We appreciate you guys. By the way, if you missed the show live, you can always watch it on YouTube as a replay, or you can listen to the audio on any podcast platform you utilize. So we are on audio as well. Don't think we mentioned that enough. So you can check out the audio. We do have standouts from the scrimmage yesterday. Pride of Detroit came out with an article, players that stood out, and I think we need to talk about them. So another, player we got to talk about, Ennis Rakestraw. It says here, Monday scrimmage was arguably one of Ennis Rakestraw's most effective performances in a Lions uniform.
Here we go again.
Come on, baby.
And that was what we talked about yesterday. So it is kind of...
Caleb's all hype up. Hey, it's not 2 days in a row. That was just the same day, bud.
That was the same day.
What?
But, yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was the same day. It was the same thing we talked about yesterday. Yesterday was a walkthrough at practice.
Are you sure he didn't dominate the walkthrough?
Dominating the walkthrough.
But there are other names. There are other names on this list that we did not get to talk about. So other standouts from that scrimmage: Ali McNeil, Tyleik Williams, and Aiden Hutchinson. Ali McNeil, it says here, he was arguably the most disruptive defender on the field. He made life difficult for Juice Scruggs, Seth McLaughlin, and Christian Mahogany, repeatedly muddying the pocket for Goff and eliminating rushing lanes for Gibbs and Vaki. Well, Vaki, he got one eye right now. The guy's eyes swollen.
I'm gonna find that video.
He's trying to see that. He's trying to
He
see.
like Neil on one knee.
Yeah, that's what honestly. But no, yeah, Ali McNeil. Then it says here, there were at least a half a dozen plays that could have resulted in sacks or tackles for loss in a full contact setting, but weren't whistled dead in order to allow the play to continue. McNeil's strength on the front side and quick penetration ability from the backside were both on full display.
That don't make me feel good about Juice and Mahogany, but
he was working them.
On the flip side,
yeah, on the flip side,
I think it's good defensively, man. We've been waiting to hear. I know Dave Burkett was on the Heavies last night, and they were talking about the defense. Like, it's finally good. It's weird though, like that the defense is dominating. It looks good. But last year, do you guys remember the story out of camp? Defense looks good. Yeah. Defense is dominating. TA looks good.
It just turned out your offense was bad.
Yeah, and it just turns out John Morton just didn't know what he was doing offensively.
Right.
So I'm not going to say that Drew Petzing doesn't know or anything, but it's just more so. I
think it's the offensive line, though. I think there's real things. Like, you don't have Cade Mays right now. It says even here of the many plays, or it says on many of the negative plays created by the first-team defense, it felt like McNeil and Tyleik were competing as two burly Bash brothers to see who could reach the backfield first. Whether it was a tackle for loss, pressure, drawing a hold, the two-man demolition crew consistently made things difficult inside, and Williams creating problems at the point of attack for both Scruggs and McLaughlin. So it wasn't just Aleem. It was also Tyleik who was
telling you Tyleik this year is going to be
making things difficult for Scruggs and McLaughlin.
I know it's the backups they're going up, but Tyleik's going to
starter
be
Scruggs.
a problem, dude. I would love to see Tyleik versus like Cade Mays. That's what I would like. I wish we could see that more right now with pads on, because I think Tyleik's about to take a jump, guys. I really do.
The Burley Bash brothers.
Yeah, that's the name.
Well, that's just what they probably Detroit wrote in the article.
Yeah, I don't know if that one gonna stick.
The Bash brothers.
But
imagine them two wreaking havoc in the middle, and then you have the edges that you have this year. I mean, oh man, that's shaping up nice. Yeah. I was one of the first people on this defensive line. They starting to give me more confidence in this defense, but of course we have to see in game reps. We have to see what it's actually going to look like. But I like how it's shaping up.
Yeah, Tyleik lost all that weight. He looks like he's getting back. He's getting back there quicker. I mean, that was a big thing with Tyleik. He can defend the run, but what's his pass rush look like? And they wanted him to, get back to what his weight was originally. And he actually had a season in college, I believe, as a freshman, where he had like 5-6 sacks or something like that. Yeah. So he's not as talented of a pass rusher, but they call him a dancing bear.
But when is the last time
get back there?
When is the last time we had two interior pass rushers?
I mean, not really. I mean, DJ Reader really wasn't, but he could get to the quarterback if needed. But he's not going out there and getting you 6 sacks. I think Tyleik, the thing with Tyleik, it's like that's not his like number one thing. Like I remember when we did the draft party, I was like, hey, that's not his number one
double
thing.
Teams.
But if you somehow get him to add that to his game in the next level, like I think that's the one thing about a player developing, especially like a first round pick when you get to the NFL. It's like, hey, can you expand your game a little bit, right? And especially with your alongside Aleem McNeil, if you can expand your game to take on double teams, but also somehow find ways when Aleem's getting doubled and you're not. Oh, can you get to the quarterback now? Like, are you the one that always has to take the double teams? Because Aleem's going to get doubled, guys. Hutch is going to get doubled. Guess what that leaves for Tyleik here and there? One-on-ones. Can you win those and get to the quarterback? It's the same thing at that other edge position with DJ Wanham with Ahmed Hassani and Derek Moore. Hey, you're going to have a couple one-on-ones. Dan has said that for years about this D-line, guys, is, hey, can our guys outside of Aiden Hutchinson and Aleem McNeil win one-on-ones? And that has not been the case for 3-4 years now. It feels like you're starting to get guys that are able to do that and consistently do it. And I think Tyleik, man, he's going to benefit a lot off what this D-line looks like. Tyleik will be. And that's why I think this year he's going to have a hell of a year, and you're going to start seeing something we haven't seen is that pass rush, because things are going to open up a lot for him. And especially, too, guys, if you have like a Sam linebacker, like a Derek Barnes coming off the edge here and there, like he can create havoc as well. Now it opens up him or it opens up other guys. So I'm excited to kind of see how this thing shapes out. The Tyleik thing, I think, is going to be like the biggest piece to this D-line, especially interior.
And if they stay healthy, I better not see what I saw last year in terms of the run game either. Like the run game, you better shut that shit off. You got to make teams one-dimensional, especially because, you know, your defense isn't in the best spot on the back end. You got to be able to make teams one-dimensional. So.
Yeah, that's it too. That's what I was going to say is like, yeah, the pass rush, it's great. I think it's going to be really good from the interior, but you can't have Jack Campbell in the run game be a superhero like he kind of was last year. He can't be your Superman. Like, he's going to need help from the interior. So, I mean, if Ali McNeil and Tyleek Williams, like you said, can not only get to the quarterback but improve your run game defensively, that's going to be huge for this Lions defense.
It says Ahmed Hassani, another one, standout. It says here, Hassani was once again active around the football with his high effort intensity. Lions frequently utilized him on twists, slicing through the offensive line. So the same thing they were doing kind of against the Bengals, stunts and everything like that. It says while also deploying him inside in pass rush situations to create mismatches against guards. Hassani generated a handful of sacks or pressures against Luke Altmaier and Josh Dobbs, often converging with other defensive linemen for a rendezvous at the quarterback alongside players like Anthony Lucas and Chris Smith. So second team, but
he's about to be a problem.
He's dominating. He's doing well against second team, which is what you expect. I mean, he's doing really well. So
I haven't heard a negative report all goddamn off season.
Every time he's stepped on the football field since he's been in Detroit,
plays are being made.
Yes. He's out there doing something, and in a positive manner.
It also says Amon-Ra St. Brown, which, you know,
consistent. We know.
You're all right. You know what Ra do.
It's like, all right, no new news.
The video did come out of Amon-Ra yesterday making a catch over. I think it was like Rocky Sin or DJ. It was DJ Reed over DJ Reed. I'm telling you, guys,
he's so fucking.
I think it's crazy to say he's one of the best wide receivers in the league, but also I think around the NFL, I think he's one of the more underrated guys. Like I just like that conversation of him being in there with Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, and that was like no one talks about it, but like. You have to, right? Like when we talked to Kelvin Johnson about it, like he was like, dude, he's just the most consistent. You could sit there and be like, I want Justin Jefferson. I want this guy.
Right.
Look at the consistency of the last 4 years.
Yeah.
It's Amon-Ra St. Brown. And the plays that he makes are insane. Like the late hands, him going up. You saw the video yesterday on DJ Reed, him going up in the air and like a guy that's like doesn't usually high point a ball, going up, high point it, boom, bringing it down on your number one corner. It's like he's going to be good this year. I'm still standing by the take that I think that 1,500-yard mark, like I think that they're going to rely on him a lot this year. I know you have all these weapons, but I think when push comes to shove, like you have an easy schedule. You want to go out there and prove something. I think Amon-Ra is going to be that guy that you lean on consistently, and Jared Goff consistently leans on.
Let's see here. Some other names on this list. It mentioned some more quick hitter names, but these are the ones that I think would be most interesting. I'm not going to go through all of them. Levi Onwuzurike, it says he was out there. Saw extended snaps with the first team defense.
Levi O?
He was out. He said he showed off his strength, multiple overpowering run stuffs throughout the scrimmage.
All right.
Sione Vaki, he's on here.
A lot of nothing.
It says mangled eye and all. Vaki received the only running back touches behind Gibbs with the first team offense and made the most of them.
Okay.
Did you guys see his eye, by the way?
Yeah, I have the video if we want to play.
Can we just play the video? His eye looks insane. I don't know how you're playing with that. Honestly, it's like, can you see out of your left eye?
Yeah, I'll throw this up.
Of what you guys have this year.
Man, sky's the limit.
Mike's up still.
I mean,
damn.
You know, the people we got, the weapons we
you got a shiner, boy.
So, whatever my piece is, I'm just trying to do my part. That's it.
Hey, Sion, how are you a different running back now than you were when you first got here 2 years ago?
Just being able to, get my eyes right on protections and things like that, getting my steps right, my paths on running the ball, vision, and it's just a testament to the guys in front of me and everyone else in the running back league. And I just appreciate Scotty and T. Joyce getting me right while I'm in the run for sure.
Can you walk us through that long run down the sideline today and what's going through your head when you lower your head?
Listen, Vaki with the messed up eye, making plays. I mean, it says on here, Devin White. White remains a problem when attacking downhill. He recorded one would-be sack on Altmaier on a blitz before later coming off the edge, railroading Jahmyr Gibbs. So Devin White's on here. And also, another player on here, Keith Abney II.
Uh-oh.
Here we go. It says Abney received the most snaps of any player as the first-team nickel. Shepard frequently sent him on blitzes. He also stuck to St. Brown like glue on a 3rd and long slant that fell incomplete. People need to if
Abney fans stand
up.
If
you got some extra time, go watch Keith Abney against slants in college.
Was Christian Izzian out?
I have no idea. I did see the report with Ennis Rakestraw. He was playing with Ennis and Izien. So I think he was actually on the second team.
Uh-oh. Things are starting to change earlier than we thought.
Yeah. But
wow.
We got to see.
They try things,
Yeah.
They tried things, but I think
Vaki was RB2 today.
I mean, that's good news.
But
That's
that's because probably Jacob Sailors, right, was kind of beaten up a little bit from the last preseason game.
No, because Ennis delivered the hit on Sailors. Remember that?
Yeah.
I think they're trying things out, but I think it is still like very, very like
They're seeing
telling
yeah.
the fact that you just saw what Keith Abney did in the preseason game, and the fact that this scrimmage that they're having, he is the number one nickel on that team, getting majority of the snaps. I think that's telling from Kelvin Shepard, like, hey, we're starting to trust this guy a lot. Because if he wasn't in that battle for a nickel, and if he wasn't having an opportunity to take that starting job, guess what they wouldn't do? They wouldn't have him almost all practice playing that number one nickel spot.
And I get it's a scrimmage, but when you hear the words he's sticking to Amon-Ra like glue, come on, dog. Like, that kid is talented.
See, these are those comments that when Brian Branch started camp.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not going to say he's Brian Branch, but I'm just saying like when you kind of compare like, hey, a rookie that comes in, if he's at a level to potentially get a starting job instantly, what do you want to see? Those are the things you want to see and hear about a rookie that comes in. And it's like, hey, he's starting to dominate a little bit versus your all-pro wide receiver. He's sticking to him. Like that's big news. That's actually massive news. There's practice at 1 o'clock today too, by the way. I think Easy's there. I'm going to text Easy. I'm going to say, keep an eye on that nickel one spot.
Keith Abney versus quick slants in 2025. 12 targets, most in football. Okay. 12 targets, 3 catches, 30 yards. In 1 pick. 5 pass breakups.
Damn.
Bro.
So, in the quick slants, what do you need to do to really succeed in a quick slant situation? Got to be quick.
Absolutely.
Okay, you got to stay with the receiver. I mean, it basically it's all advantage receiver, especially Amon-Ra St. Brown, and he was on him. So whether it's IQ, reaction time, quick feet, short area quickness, call it whatever you want.
That's big. Honestly, that's big news, guys. Because just the other day, I was saying, hey, it's probably Christian Izien's job to start the year. It's going to take time for Abney. That if this is the reports and this keeps being consistent over the next, he has 2 weeks to go out there and earn that job. You would have to think that the percentages start to move over towards Keith Abney.
Yeah.
Honestly,
well,
maybe.
I think too. Dan mentioned it, how they're trying different guys out at corner. Hey, we're going to try out a cover guy. We're going to try out a guy who could put all this stuff. I think Keith Abney's the cover guy. Like, based on everything he did in college and based on what we're reading, he's the cover guy.
But also, like, there's guys that do everything. He feels like an everything guy.
He can also,
He can go in and stop the run. He's going to lay hits on. Like, that's where I think if you look at the guys in that room, you obviously want to find the guys who are best at each thing. But if you can find a guy that can do all 3 or all 4 of those things that you're looking for at that position, that's his job.
And he might turn into that everything guy, but I don't think the Lions are going to put everything on him in his first year. But he's definitely going to get reps. He's definitely going to be able to go out there and make his presence known. But I think that nickel spot will be more like a rotating spot. I don't think one person is will be the overall guy there, but I think they'll do a mix just depending on matchups and things of that nature. They'll swap between him and Izzy and, depending on how things shake out. But I like the prospect of it because that spot now seems a little bit deep now that you have him and Izzy in that room. So we'll see.
Let's get to break. When we come back, we'll get into some college football. We'll talk some Michigan. Also, anything that comes out about the Lions, we'll talk about as well.
And real
Things
quick,
are
too,
still
some
fluid, so.
breaking NFL news. Jaden Higgins, wide receiver,
that
Texans.
sucks, man.
ACL out for the season.
They just can't keep their wide receiver room healthy, man.
That's an injury. Injury bug in the wide receiver room. Texans have it.
That's tough, man.
Every
they get
time.
Tank Dell back,
Every year
Jaden
they
Higgins
keep
out.
getting hurt. They just can't. If I was the Texans, I'd draft a wide receiver with every damn pick.
Yeah,
I mean, you
seriously.
can't go wrong. Everyone's getting hurt over there. Even Nico Collins had him in fantasy. He gets hurt too. So we got to hear about our friends. We're at Mad Packs.
Yep.
Let's do Mad Packs, and we'll do Amnesia coming back.
I will do Mad Packs, and Mad Packs is bringing the gummy packs in, and they are really damn good. I'm talking about the Boom Shakalaka 200 milligram hash rosin gummies and the Hilo 200 milligram live resin gummies, along with the Mad Packs extracts, Blizzard packs, and the other great products that they have under the Mad Packs umbrella. So make sure you go to getmadpacks.com today. Mad flavor, mad high, Mad Packs.
You're building a whole combat sports enterprise in the heart of it in Detroit, and that's what I think is the coolest.
I think with opportunity, right? Like you said, maybe you like to punch people in the face for real, and you want to be a boxer, and you have an option there. Maybe you don't like getting punched in the face, and you want to make, you like the theatricals and the storylines, and So you have an avenue here. Maybe you start at one and then want to change to the other. I don't care. I just want you in the building and know that you have some place to go to explore that. Just having the ability to, what do you want to do and how do you want to do it to the best of your ability? And, it all starts with the kids.
I hate to tell you, energy drinks, but you're about to be crushed. Thrive nootropic energy pouches are here to change the game by delivering steady, focused performance in a clean white pouch for a fraction of the cost. And unlike other brands, Thrive comes from an American company that's been leading the way for over 30 years. So stop drinking gut rot energy drinks and why don't you thrive for a change? It's just better.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new face, new focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in? Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
Sean Belizian wake you up every Monday through Friday on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. That's right, Big D Energy has moved to mornings. Get your morning dose of Neil's tone and Sean's insanity. Weekdays 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Two Detroit sports legends coming together for the best Detroit sports morning show there is. Big D Energy, waking you up weekdays on Detroit's #1 sports network.
My bad. I must be on the Amnesia. My bad. We was chilling during the break. But, hey, shout out to Amnesia. Amnesia is bringing, that's why I need a break between reads. Amnesia is bringing a whole new meaning to smooth finish. Say hello to the new 1.5 gram bubble hash glass tip infused blunt, combining premium bubble hash with a sleek glass tip for a new way to enjoy the classic. It's the latest addition to the rapidly growing lineup, and it's available at a dispensary near you today. A smoother way to stand out. It is Amnesia.
And guys, let me tell you guys about the legendary all-day IPA, guys, from Founders Brewings. It marks right now their 15th year anniversary of the drink. It's a citrusy, crisp, and refreshing drink. Perfectly balanced taste, guys. If you haven't had one, make sure you go get one. It's a 4.7 ABV as well, so it's built to go the entire distance if you're watching college football, NFL, whatever it is. And as well, guys, the best part about it, you can get $5 shorts at any Art and Jake's locations in the state of Michigan on Monday, Thursdays, and Sundays. That's all days of football, guys. So you can go get $5 all-day IPA shorts. And as always, if you're drinking them, Caleb,
drink responsibly.
We're back. It's crunch time here on Woodward Sports. More to get to. We'll get to some Michigan football. First, I want to read some of the comments here. Lucas Klotz, crazy stat. In college, throwing a slant at Keith was equivalent to losing a point in the game. I just want to say this again so people understand like where the Keith Abney glazing is coming from. And Lucas, it's crazy you put this in there because at the end of the day, we all understand this. Keith Abney is going to be a star for the Detroit Lions. In this nickel battle, we follow it every single day. Isian, McCreary, whoever they put at nickel to compete, I'll take the guy with the highest upside.
Yeah.
And when the report comes out that he has a pass breakup on Amon-Ra St. Brown, an all-pro wide receiver, doesn't surprise me because this is the same nickel who played outside in college, but also the same player who on 12 targets against quick slants in college, 3 receptions, 30 yards, an interception, he is the cover guy. And he is a 5th-round pick. We have to manage our expectations. But for a secondary, we worry about so much. In a nickel battle, we're paying attention to so much. Keith Abney is the solution. Okay? He is.
He's the future at that position.
He is the future. So, Danny says, Jeff, that was a rich-ass laugh. I don't... do I have a rich-ass white guy?
A little bit, yeah, you do.
Is that what it sounds like?
It's bougie a little bit. Like, go ahead, laugh, Jeff. Just laugh. Right?
He does have
no.
Yeah.
KG, bro, he has the craziest fake laugh.
He has a
like,
fake
we
laugh.
Talked about
it's
it.
insane.
Yeah, it's yeah.
The crazy part about it is like he's laughed at my jokes and things that I've said. It's the same as his fake laugh, so you don't know the difference. You don't know if he's real or not.
Shit.
That's like I think that's scary. That's a scary thing. Like,
I
is
don't
that
know.
fake? Is that real? I don't know.
If he thought that was funny, but
Was that fake or was that real?
That was real. But you know what? You never
Hit us
know.
with your fake laugh.
It is a rich guy laugh a little bit.
It's scary, dude. I
Yeah,
don't know.
it's actually kind of fucking.
That's I work on Wall Street laugh right there.
Honestly, it is.
The NASDAQ is down.
I hate that, man. Oh, no.
Let's get to it. Top 25, people.
Michigan.
Can we have this too? Like, I just want the Michigan fans to like, and we got Riley in here too, so this will be a good perspective for you. And you feel free, Riley. You grab a mic. We can get in this conversation because Michigan, we're getting into the thick of it now. Like, we got to start getting expectations. Not that we're gonna deep dive in all this right now, but Michigan fans in the chat as well. Michigan comes in at what? Where are they at? 16.
They come in at 16. Michigan is 16.
16.
Yes. So there's expectations now for Michigan.
And we looked at the schedule. We went through it. In the Big Ten, by the way, Big Ten, that's the conference now. All right, we have, 3 different national champions from the Big Ten?
The SEC has now won a national championship, I think, in 4 years?
Yeah, so
the
Big
Big Ten is
dominated. And now you have Kyle Whittingham coming in, okay? And he did great things at Utah, but now in the Big Ten, with Michigan, 5-star quarterback who people have expectations for, which I'm sure we're going to talk about a lot. But what's fair expectations for Michigan? Is it 8 wins, 9 wins, 10 wins, making the playoff?
Oh, don't tempt me.
Because this is where I'll be I'll try to be fair with it. Like, I want you have to be fair and you have to be, hey, what are our expectations? But I don't want you to undersell it either and be like, well, let's just get about 7-8 wins and have a fun season. No, you have a 5-star quarterback. He has the quarterback coach and everything. Something he lacked with Sharon Moore. You got an actual adult at head coach. Got some exciting players. What's the expectations, Boo?
I mean, I think the expectations are pretty clear for Michigan this year. I mean, if you're ranked 16th, guess what that means? Like, I think obviously if you look at the AP top 25 when it comes out, I think we're all pretty clear at the teams that can win a national championship, right? Like probably the top 10 teams, maybe top 6 or 7 teams. And you see it there. Like, let's just go through it real quick. Ohio State, probably a national championship contender, correct? Yes. Oregon, Georgia, Notre Dame, Texas, Indiana, Miami. And then maybe after that, you could stop the ball. And then I think the next tier is like that Oklahoma, LSU, all the way down to Michigan potentially. That's how I look at this thing. And I think Michigan this year, can they win a national championship? I think any team at that most teams can make a run. Bro. You don't know. Probably not, right? Probably not. But this is where I think you're at. I think as a Michigan, someone who is a Michigan fan, I think expectations going into this year, like, hey, you need to have an opportunity at the end of the year to put yourself in the playoffs. Yeah. And I think that's an expectation. It's Bryce Underwood, second year, Kyle Whittingham coming in. What he did at Utah, if he could do that at Utah and make them kind of those contenders to get into the playoffs, I think you can expect him at Michigan to do the same thing. And the roster that they have, especially offensively, that's been the thing I think always with Michigan. It's like, hey, offensively, can they do it? Yeah. And like when they won the national championship, offensively, they ran the ball really well. Their defense is always the Michigan defense. But with the 2 running backs that you have, Bryce Underwood, Buchanan coming over from Utah as a wide receiver, Marsh as a wide receiver, not like you have now the weapons that you can go out there. And with a legit quarterback coach, I just don't see a world like you do have a really hard schedule. You play 4 teams in the top 10 this year. That's tough, dude. Yeah. That might be the most top 10 teams a team plays, I think, in the country. Maybe tied for.
For what reason, I don't know.
So, yeah, I don't know how you end up getting that schedule. But if you go out there, and I told Jeff this in the back, like we did our record predictions, if you win 2 of those 4 top 10 games, you're in. Yeah. And that's what it comes down to. Week 2 versus Oklahoma.
So that Ohio State game doesn't matter.
No, it matters.
No, it's
and this is the thing, too, by the way. This is like, and I get it, and maybe I'll talk to Bray about it, his thoughts on it, but with the Kyle Whittingham thing with Ohio State, I do understand kind of his thought process on what kind of has came out about it. I don't think that his comments or anything was like, hey, this game doesn't matter at all. I think it's like, hey, let's take this thing 1 week at a time. You got to put it in Kyle Whittingham's perspective. He's coming in there and taking over a program that was in disarray. Yeah. Like disarray. Like nothing was good. Sharon Moore is all over the news. The Jim Harbaugh stuff. The Connor Stallion stuff. He needs to take this thing 1 week at a time and just rebuild this program from the ground up. That's where it was at. So I understand the size of him being like, hey, I do understand that's a big game. We're not even going to think about that right now. We have 11 games to worry about before we even get there. So I understand that. I think as a CEO, as a head coach, someone who's in charge of that program, I see that. You know what I mean? Like, even if it's the biggest game of the year, you still don't want to look ahead and lose. Like, it means something, but if you have 3 losses, like, I would rather it mean something and you playing to go to the college football playoffs.
Right.
So for me, it's, hey, you have Oklahoma week 2, you have Oregon, you have Indiana, and you have Ohio State.
Yep.
You have to win 2 of those 4 if you want a chance at the playoffs.
Indiana and Oregon is the most realistic ones.
They are.
Actually,
I think Oklahoma week 2 is a very realistic
I meant
opportunity.
Indiana and Oklahoma. That's my fault.
And you have to win 2 of those 4 games to get in. And I think you have to take, when you have week 2 Oklahoma, man, hey, you have to make sure you're locked in for that. And you can't be thinking ahead of to Oregon, Indiana, Penn State, who's also a ranked opponent that you have.
Yeah.
You can't be looking ahead to these teams. You have to be like, hey, well, let's go 1 week at a time. Because they have, guys, they have the roster to do it.
No.
They do. And whether you hate the Michigan or not, they do have the roster to do it, and they have the offense that can go out there and put points up on the board. And it all starts with Bryce Underwood. It really does.
No, absolutely. Before I go, I just want to, establish that. Is this a safe space for me to talk Michigan football? Because coming from Big D country, as you like to point out, I am constantly berated for my belief in Bryce Underwood.
You are, no, this is because
am I safe?
This is a safe place for me too.
Now Michigan. You kind of went overboard. You said that he can win a Heisman.
Well, not win. I said it in New York.
I think even that could be a stretch.
I want it on record. I've only said that because I just want skin in the game. I just want to have some fun.
Understandable. And if that were to happen, boy, the laps that we will do around Neil if that were to happen. But no, I agree with everything that you said, and like you said, those 4 games are Michigan season essentially. And I look at Oklahoma, and I look at Indiana as the teams that you can actually go out there and be able to make a statement against. And like you said, it's all on Bryce Underwood at this point. We all know that Sharon Moore was doing whatever the hell he wanted up there. Bryce hasn't had a QB coach since high school. So I think that just having an adult in the room is going to mean absolutely everything. Coach Witt, he's a guy that knows how to run a program. He's coming over here to Michigan. And realistically, I think they're a 9-3 team. I think they stand at the end of the year with a chance to play themselves into the playoff against maybe an Ohio State. And I'm not saying they're going to go out there and beat Ohio State, but I do think this team is just better in terms of, from the playmaking standpoint. If Bryce can take that step and just get better with decision making and touch on some of his throws, I think he'll be better. You utilize his legs more. This offense can be a little more dynamic. And Michigan should absolutely have a chance to compete for the playoff. But I'm not going any further than that as a Michigan fan. I just want to see this program get back to a stable place, because the shit that I have seen since the Natty, it has been a whirlwind at Michigan, and we just need some stability in that program.
Can we agree, though, like this could be a year they get back to the college football playoffs? Like,
yeah, I think
it's for sure potentially, like, it's doable.
Yeah.
Tough schedule, yeah. If they don't make, honestly, I will say this, and I know this is maybe a cop-out. If they don't make the college football playoffs, I'm not going to, freak out in year 1 of Kyle Whittingham. Because of the main reason, that schedule they have.
Yeah.
It might be one of the toughest, if not the toughest, in the Big Ten. And it's year 1 of a new program, right? Like, you don't want to sit there and put all that pressure and be like, hey, you have to go undefeated versus these guys. You know what I mean? I just don't know if that's a fair expectation in year 1.
So what is best case, worst case?
Best case is make the college football play. Well, best case obviously is a national championship.
Well, I'm talking best case for expectations.
For expectations, 10-2, like Riley said, and to get
make
the college
football
playoff.
7-5.
Worst case is like you lose all 4 of those games.
Yeah.
You're sitting there at 8-4.
Yeah.
And maybe you potentially drop another game in the Big Ten, and instead of 8-4, you're at 7-5.
Right.
That's like worst case scenario.
I believe so.
So a very low floor and a very high ceiling.
Yeah.
We're in lockstep.
It's because you have so many top 10. It's not even like, these are top 25 opponents. Because if you go down top 25 opponents, I think there's like maybe 7, I think, in your schedule all together. We're talking about 4 top 10 opponents out of your 12 games. Like over 20. Like, what is it? What's the math on that? I'm not a math guy. Is that 33% of your games are versus top 10 opponents?
Yeah, essentially.
Yep.
That's insane.
Yeah, no, that's tough, and it's all on Bryce. Bryce still has to go out there and show it. I know Neil gives him all the criticism. I've never said he was wrong, though. Bryce, they'll go as far as Bryce Underwood takes them this year, so he has to be better.
And I think with Bryce, like we were speaking with Braylon about it a couple of weeks ago. He has spoken with Bryce at some point. Like, The thing that I do like about Bryce, and Bryce has stated, it's like when with Sharon Moore, he didn't really have someone helping him specifically at the quarterback position.
Yeah.
And that's like a big swing and a miss. Me and you talked about this in the offseason after it came out, but that's a swing and a miss for Sharon Moore to not have like a legit quarterback guru in there helping a 5-star quarterback who at the time was, 17 years old, going into 18 years old. I think he's just about to turn 19 here soon. He's still an 18-year-old kid. Yeah. And you don't have any quarterback guru in there helping him out as a 5-star quarterback, being like, hey, this is how you need to play the game. This is how it kind of everything. Dropbacks, reading the defenses. Like, you need a quarterback guy in there. And Bryce basically said, hey, this year, like Kyle Whittingham, guess what he did? He brought in a quarterback coach for me.
Yes.
And he's working with me. And it sounds like coming out of Michigan that this is just it sounds like he's getting a lot better. And it's all together. It's for making reads, throws, accuracy, everything. Running the offense, team as a whole. Everything is positive coming out of camp for Bryce Underwood.
He got all the physical tools. He just got to put it together on the field.
Yep.
By the way, I want to read some of these super chats. Showtime, by the way, shout out Devin. Appreciate the 2. He says, shout out the Doc and Crunch Time boys. YNs Unite. We'll appreciate that, Devin.
Out.
For the hits, welcome to the Woodward crew. And then Dante, appreciate the 5. He says, well, ripped wide receiver Jaden Higgins of the Texans suffered a torn ACL yesterday during a joint practice against the Raiders. Those joint practices, tough break for him. So are we going to criticize their practice efforts?
Yeah.
Should we criticize their D'Amico Ryan? Should we just go at him for his practice efforts? Or is it just injuries happen? It's crazy how that works, man.
Michigan thing real quick. It's Jay in the chat said Bryce hasn't even showed y'all flashes of being semi-good, guys. Yes, he has. And as a true freshman at the age of 17/18, the guy won 9 games last year.
Yeah,
9 games. They were 7-2 in the conference and went 9-4 last year, guys. As a true freshman that was basically 17, 18 years old. And
with a coach that's not engaged with your OC splitting time between being the OC and the QB coach.
And if he didn't show flashes, and if he was that bad, guess what? You probably lose a lot more of those games.
Exactly.
So no, he definitely has shown that. And Jay's a Michigan State guy. Jay's a Michigan State guy. He won't be truthful on it.
But there is a maturing process that does need to happen. Sure. I agree. I think both sides are correct. Yeah,
I think we can all admit that. Hey, he hasn't been lived up to what he's supposed to.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts from the eagle eye view, Riley? You're a Michigan State guy. You guys are just found an athletic director. Congrats.
I was going to say, I'm pretty happy with our offseason. But eagle eye view, not having any skin in this game whatsoever, I would be freaking pumped, man. Honestly, I love the signing of Kyle Whittingham. He did everything that Sharon Moore didn't do. He's going to bring nothing but stability. He brought in the coach. I mean, come on now. I have never had a quarterback on my team that was as athletically gifted as Bryce Underwood. It's going to work out. I'm actually a lot higher than most of you guys because I actually think they win 10 games, and I do think they get into the playoff. And I will, I'm putting my stamp on it right now.
Okay.
So if you want to join me, Booner, go right ahead. And I'm a Sparty.
I got asked last week from Justin. He was doing record predictions for Michigan, and I did say 10-2.
I'm going with 10-2.
I went
Sparty's got the courage.
I have no skin. I hope they can go 7-5. Be like, oh, who cares?
Yeah. By the way, Katz in the chat said Whittingham sustained the program at Utah. He didn't take it to another level.
31 years.
By the way, I just want to confirm something from you guys. First question, can we confirm in college football there's different levels to programs, correct?
Yes.
And can we both and all of us agree that Michigan is a different tier of a program than Utah?
Yes.
It's easier. It's hard to sustain a program like Utah and do what he did there.
Absolutely.
That's a program where it's hard to do that, and he did it. And not a lot of people in this college football world would be able to take Utah to a championship level. They could sustain it, not to that national championship level. Michigan's a different tier of a program. If you come in and do what he did at Utah at Michigan, guess what that does? You get pushed over the top.
Yeah.
That's the point of a Kyle Whittingham being like, I'm going to go to Michigan. It's because now I have more resources. I have better opportunity. It's a bigger program. So, Katz, thank you for proving the point that we were trying to make.
Yeah, he's one of the most respected coaches in college football.
He
could easily retire here.
Yeah.
He could do another 10, 12 years and just be like, I'm done.
That's probably his last stop. For sure it is.
Where else would you want to go?
Yeah, Katzer said Utah was loaded with top-level talent. that Kyle Whittingham.
All right.
Right, that Kyle has brought some of that talent to Michigan.
And it wasn't the top talent.
Right.
He did
Guess
a hell
where
of
the
a job.
top talent was? Michigan, Alabama, LSU.
Right.
Like all of those top tier schools that had the money and the resources.
Yeah, they recruited,
now he
developed-
has those resources.
Putting down
good
Michigan
players.
to uplift Utah is crazy.
It's crazy. Hey, no, he's proving our point.
Yeah, like
He's proving our point.
And that's the Sparty guy?
No, that's just Brandon
Okay.
Katz. I
Yeah,
don't even know
right.
what guy
Don't worry
he
about
is.
Cats.
They did have Sione Vaki over there.
They did.
Yes, they did, and he balled out.
Yeah, Jonah Ellis. I think
Zach
he's
Moss. No,
Zach
that's
Moss.
Utah. Yeah, that's Utah.
For like
Yeah.
7
Moss.
years, they had Cam Rising at quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Let's get to break. We got. Are we doubling up here?
Yeah.
All right, we got to double up here. We got Loom and Supreme Lending.
All right, let me tell the people about Loom Cannabis Company and the wonderful drink that is called Buzzin' Energy. Still the same buzzins that you used to, 7.5 milligrams of pure THC, but it's got 100 milligrams of caffeine from green tea extract as well. So it gets you through your day without you feeling so groggy and tired. And they got it in nice flavors like peach and raspberry lemonade. And you can get it at all 40 locations across Michigan. All you got to do to learn more is go to loom.com, and don't forget 30% off your entire order. They're still doing it, y'all, for some reason. All you got to do is use promo code WSN30 at checkout. Shout out to them.
Let me tell you about our friends over at Supreme Lending. Buying a home or refinancing is a massive decision. And just like in sports, you need the right team behind you. That's why we're proud to have our friends over at Supreme Lending a part of the family. Here's the game changer, though. When you apply for an eligible loan, mention Woodward Sports, you'll receive up to $500 off your appraisal. To score this deal, call the numbers on our screen. Talk to Chad and Chris at Supreme Lending today.
For more Detroit Tigers coverage, make sure you subscribe to Woodward Tigers on YouTube. All Tigers, all the time. For the hardcore Detroit sports fans who can't get enough of the Motor City's teams. All season long, you'll get non-stop Tigers content. From on-field interviews, post-game reactions, and roundtable insight from Woodward Sports.
It is Joey with Woodward Sports, and in 2017, I trusted Dr. Yelda with my eyes, and it was the best decision I've ever made. No more glasses or contacts, just clear vision every single day.
Hi, I'm Darren McCarty, 4-time Stanley Cup champion. If I had LASIK back in the day, I probably would have won 8 Stanley Cups. So if you're thinking about LASIK, do it now. Tell them, Doc.
Come see me. You have nothing to lose. It's a free consultation.
For a limited time, LASIK only $19.99 per eye. Call Yeldo Eye Center. Let them know Woodward Sports sent you. But please don't wait like I did. Call them now.
Some days call for light, others lean bold. What about everything in between? All Day IPA, the easy choice for every day. Citrusy, crisp, refreshing. Flavor you can float with. Light on the hops, big on refreshment. One's great. 2, even better. Brewed with you in mind. No shortcuts, no fuss. Big on flavor, never too much. All Day IPA. Hop into easy.
And Sean Belizian wake you up every Monday through Friday on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. That's right, Big D Energy has moved to mornings. Get your morning dose of Neil's tone and Sean's insanity. Weekdays 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. 2 Detroit sports legends coming together for the best Detroit sports morning show there is. Big D Energy, waking you up weekdays on Detroit's #1 sports network.
If you've been thinking about LASIK, well, you see DMAC on your screen. He got taken care of by our friends over at Yeldo Eye Center, and he trusts them just like you should trust them. And right now, Yeldo Eye Center is offering an incredible deal. LASIK for just $1,999 per eye, regardless of your prescription. I've dealt with glasses and contacts. It's a pain. And our friends over at Yeldo Eye Center will take care of it. Call or text 248-553-9800 today, or schedule your free consultation, or visit YeldoEyeCenter.com. Yeldo Eye Center, the vision experts.
And guys, after you get your eyes checked out, make sure if you guys need some energy, get rid of all those different energy drinks, all the different things you need to get energy. Upgrade your game with the Thrive Energy pouches. Guys, it packs over 300 milligrams of clean and smart caffeine with alpha GPC, L-theanine, all of that. And as well, you see it on the screen there. You can go to dipstop.com and use our promo code WSN. You get 15% off your entire order, guys. And you can go to all Market Fresh and Market Square locations. It's Thrive. They just effing work.
We're back. It's Crunch Time here on Woodward Sports, joined by a very special guest, our good friend Gab Monique, founder and CEO of City Sweat Club. And she is here to talk about what is going on this weekend. Number one, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, guys. I'm so grateful to be able to come in and kick it with you guys for a minute. So
yeah, we're excited. And honestly, Joey was telling us a little bit before just about what's going on this weekend, and it's so special. I know we were reading a little bit about you too. You're big into giving back to the community. So can you kind of tell the people at home just what the event is and what's going on with the event? You mentioned 500 backpacks.
500 backpacks. That's a big number. Over the last 2 years, we started our movement initially as a run club on Woodward, but that was truly our first step into the community. So from then, we've stepped up and started making more room for neighbors to move without barriers, creating access to fitness. And we teach fitness classes Monday through Thursday, 7 p.m. in our space, Opportunity Cafe. So this weekend, you can learn more about the movement that we're creating inside the neighborhood, Boston, Edison, Dexter, Linwood neighborhood, and Durfee Innovation Society. But this weekend, Saturday, August 22nd, starting at 11 a.m., we're giving away 500 backpacks, clothing gently used, pre-loved, I should say, and then a lot of things that have been generously contributed that are brand new for families to set them up for success, a little stress off the school year, and a little bit more celebration, things to look forward to.
Yeah, I want to ask you, the Opportunity Cafe, can you talk a little bit more about that? I saw that in the post as well. And
Yeah.
You brought it up there. Can you tell the people a little bit about more what that is as well?
Would love to. So Opportunity Cafe, we exist in what used to be a locker room. So our name is City Sweat Club. Sweat's our middle name. We exist in a place that Sweat used to live and breathe naturally. And here in this space, we're soon to open a cafe, matcha, coffee, and workforce development for the youth in the community. But in this space, we create opportunity for our neighbors, any vision that anyone else may want to bring to life, as so many have paved the way, quite literally, for us to be able to create more moves for the city and for our neighbors. We create more opportunity for those to bring what it is that they want to share with the community, whether that's a segmented TEDx styles, like to speak through community sharing and showcasing their brand, their vision, their offering, or movement. Instructors teaching classes. One of our instructors, Justin's here today.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's up, Justin? How we doing? I need Justin to get me right.
Yeah.
I need to get right.
I need that too.
I've been slacking. But I do want to ask, because one thing I do, among other things I love about Woodward, is the community. They want to participate. They want to get involved.
Yeah.
And can you tell some of the people at home watching just how they can help, or if they can help, or
Yeah.
how they can
Absolutely. So we are still collecting items for this back to school drive. Right now we're prioritizing pencils and notebooks, folders too. If anyone may have a generous spirit, they may want to contribute in any way, any purchase, whether if it's one or none, showing up without these means but wanting to share their time, their energy, their effort, their hands to help us and volunteer, we welcome you. More information is available at citysweatclub.org. But we're also accepting pre-loved clothing. If it's washed and prepared, ready to give away for families to make selections, no cost, just to shop with dignity, we will take these items and we'll display them for them to take home on Saturday. So please, we invite you to walk with us beyond, Woodward. Take it to the neighborhood. So.
I love that. Is there any, I know you guys are doing the Saturday event, is there any future events as well
Yeah.
you guys are planning or going to do?
So this is our third annual. We do this one yearly, but we also do Christmas community closet. These community closets are regular within our programming. Outside of, I've talked a lot about steps and reps, our movement here, but we create moves for social impact. So that's showing up and being available to share resources, and that moves the needle for everyone to be able to feel like they can breathe and exercise, everyday life living. It's become a tougher economical climate, and the ways that we can show up by just offering our energy, which is priceless, we try to do that in more ways than one. So.
Well, yeah, Monique, founder, CEO of City Sweat Club. Thank you so much for joining us.
Appreciate you guys.
We love the mission. Again, for people that are watching, you can rewind, replay. She talked about how you guys can get involved. Please get involved. And let's take a quick break. We do got to hit one more, guys, I believe, before we go. So let me tell you about our friends over at Water Hazard. I'll take away that. So let me tell you, Founders Water Hazard. It's the very first canned vodka cocktail from Founders. It's best served over ice with a slice of lemon, just like I prefer. You can get your $5 cans at any Art and Jake's locations on Mondays, Thursdays, and Sundays. Please drink responsibly.
Dan Campbell is in redemption mode.
No, make no mistake. It's not revenge he's after. It's a reckoning.
And Woodward Sports is here to cheer on the Detroit Lions every snap. Don't miss a moment of Detroit Lions coverage. Follow Woodward Sports on all social media platforms now.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
It's game on at Art & Jake's. Wings, burgers, pizza, and ice-cold drinks served up with attention to detail. Wall-to-wall TVs, great service, and a vibe that keeps your crew coming back. Art & Jake's, a sports bar setting with a fine dining flavor.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
All right, if you're looking to take your relaxation to the next level, then you've got to check out Massage Share House in Bloomfield Hills, the largest massage share room in the Midwest. They carry top brands like Infinity and Osaki, making it the go-to destination for premium comfort and cutting-edge wellness technology. Be sure to visit Dr. Eric Duncan, the Wellness Doc, creator of the #1 YouTube channel, for massage share reviews at the Wellness Doc. Book your visit today at massagesharehouse.com or simply scan the QR code on your screen. Massage Share House, your ticket to ultimate recovery and relaxation.
We're back. It's crunch time here on Woodward Sports. Any last mailbag questions we will get to. Someone said that she was more articulate than Chris on heavyweights.
Oh, we didn't even do that to Chris.
She did a great job.
She killed it.
I don't know why he has to take it straight at Chris.
Yeah.
Shout out to Platy Pies,
Chris
man. That's
said,
crazy.
I know, shout out Chris, man.
Don't talk
Rap
down
Cave.
on my boy, man.
You're doing great, but
that's my guy, man. Shout out Chris.
Yeah,
that's incredible though. I do love like the community aspect of things. It's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we're
Anytime
definitely
we
going to
can
find ways to
support
get
with stuff
involved.
like that.
No doubt. If you guys see anything, okay, there's some of these.
Well, and Mike G said, Millsack, WSN never talks about MSU, not even the Spartans on the network like BBR. Who's BBR, by the way?
Big Back Riley.
Oh, Riley. I didn't know that was his nickname.
That's his nickname that the
BBR.
chat came up with, and we ride with it. So.
I only knew Riley by Riley. So BBR, Joey, Anson, Belizean, they all talk.
Riley,
none of them
not
talk
green.
Spartan football.
That's
yeah,
what
he's
Neil
also
calls him.
called Riley Not Green. So.
Yeah, Riley not green. Yeah, I don't know about it. Hey, listen, I'm a Michigan guy. I talk Michigan. That's up to the Michigan State guys. I mean, they have nothing really most to talk about.
Yeah, what are you going to talk about?
Shad says, "What's her at?" It's Gabrielle Monique on Instagram. So you can
You sick bastards.
well, if they, you do what you want.
Right.
If you want to help get involved, which you should. If you just want to follow, because
Gooning.
Whatever. Okay, there you go. I mean, this chat, I love
Yeah, I
this
know.
chat.
It's
Chat's crazy.
This is why we
man.
don't have women on network, because
Yeah, let's just get out of here, bro. Let's just get out of here, man.
You chat. You guys did that.
I mean, chat. We guys. Sean, I got you though. Sean, I got you. But let's get out of here. Appreciate you guys as always. We'll be back tomorrow, Thursday show, 11 a.m. Till then, Braylon Hansen, heavyweights.
Peace. Love you guys.
Peace.
The next generation of Detroit sports media is here. Crunch Time is back on Woodward Sports. Join Jeff Iafrate and Booner Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Taking Detroit sports coverage to the next level with massive interviews, viral moments, and the best live reactions. Get ready, Detroit. The young guns are taking over. Crunch Time on Woodward Sports.